Find the Fan. Here's C-Dot.
I maybe got 3 hours of sleep. My plane landed at 12:45. This show is going to operate off love for you guys and vibes. Now, I did prepare for the show. Shout out to some good Southwest Airlines free Wi-Fi, but I am so excited to be here with you. Today's show is going to be about the World Cup. Today's show is going to be a little bit of football. I also will tell you stories about myself and about my life. That's kind of what the All-Star break brings you. The first story, Rob, I would like to tell you is this. I had a choice. I came to a fork in the road. My two options this weekend were going to New York to see Jay-Z at Yankee Stadium or going to the Conor McGregor fight. My homie hits me up, ticket God. Yo, Carrington, come down to Vegas. I got you for the fight. Rob, I'm through the roof. Now, I've been to a couple big fights before. I was at Crawford Canelo. I went to Crawford Spence a couple of years ago. There's nothing that rivals the energy of a big-time fight. Now, I'm not the biggest UFC fan, but I like Conor McGregor. I like the swagger, the bravado, the yapping. I mean, he's one of the greatest at it. So when I get this offer from the ticket fairy, from the ticket god, I'm like, you know what? This is a sign. This is a blessing. Of course I'll be there. I felt bad leaving you guys on Friday, but you understand, if you get put in that position, you gotta take it. I've never left a sporting event so confused, so bamboozled, so hurt. Legitimately hurt. I'm going to hold it together for you guys. I'm going to hold it together for Rob. And because I'm a professional. But let me tell you, I was took. I was led astray. I was bamboozled. I was run amok. In one situation, Beyonce and Rihanna are coming out. In the other situation, Conor McGregor never throws a punch. That's my life. I do it for you guys. That's it. You're the only reason. You guys are what keep me going and what makes this show possible. You are listening to The Drive. My name is Carrington. Rob is here. Rob, I don't want to just be a Debbie Downer this whole time. How are you? How are you feeling? We're going to talk a lot of World Cup today. Every show this week is going to have a theme. Today's show is goodbye to the World Cup. It has been a magical time. It has been a festive time. The mayor is coming on the show. Other media members are coming on the show. Soccer people are coming on the show today. It's going to be an exciting day. But if you're somebody that gets mad when we talk about soccer, I want to tell you that we have one more day left. Tomorrow we will move on. I can't see us going back and talking a whole lot more about Algeria, Austria. I don't know if that's going to be the vibe moving forward. But today, we are celebrating the fact that Kansas City hosted the World Cup and did so at a championship world-class level. That's what we are going to celebrate today. Rob, before we get into any particulars, how are you doing today? How are you feeling?
Today's a good day. Weather's nice. I'm going to go see The Odyssey tonight, which I'm very excited about. And that movie's too long for you. I was going to ask earlier today when I saw you if you're coming.
I have no interest in seeing The Odyssey. I will never see The Odyssey. I have zero interest in watching The Odyssey. I've not seen the trailer for The Odyssey. I don't know much about the movie. Once you told me 3 hours, that was all I needed to know. You could tell me that it gets a 10.0 on IMDb. You could tell me that it's the best movie you've ever seen. I'll never see it. It won't be the best movie I've ever seen because I will not be participating in The Odyssey. But I am happy that this is a movie you've been talking to me about ever since it got announced. I'm excited that you get an opportunity to see it. I need you guys to do me a couple of favors today before we dive into the show. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock. right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell, during the All-Star week, the ratings be down during this week, You might find this hard to believe. People don't really listen to the sports radio when there's not a lot of the sports going on. When there's a lot of the sports going on, people listen. It's great. When there's not a lot of the sports going on, things suffer. I don't know what I got. I got to just start randomly making fun of KU this week. I got to say something provocative, Rob, to get the people going. I got to say, hey, I think the window was closed for Patrick Mahomes. I got to stir up something this week. I got to generate some energy this week. Or you could just tell one extra person. You don't got to tell two people a day. Just tell one extra person to listen to the show this week, and I would greatly appreciate it. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show, which is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. Go stop by The Other Place. Maybe you want to continue to watch some world-class championship soccer. Preseason football is right around the corner. Rob, we're 30 days from the Chiefs' first preseason game. I believe that's the case. So football season is rapidly approaching, and we appreciate you guys being with us here on the show today. Today's show is going to have a very loose feel, a very loose vibe. It's the All-Star game, the Home Run Derby, the World Cup is just ended. Today's show is going to be a little bit different, but I do think that the conversation has to start with a celebratory mood and atmosphere. I think that we are amazing. I do not believe that there is a city in the United States that loves sports, participates in sports, and cherishes it more than Kansas City, Missouri. I can give you a bunch of evidence for that to be the case. But for a city the size that Kansas City is, to have two very powerful sports talk stations should let you know about what the interest is in Kansas City for those kinds of conversations and our love of sport. There are a lot of cities in this country, a lot of bigger cities than the United States. There is not one that embraced the World Cup more passionately than Kansas City. Whether it was for the games that we were hosting, whether it was for the games that other cities were hosting, there is not a city that bought into the concept more of international soccer being a great host and celebrating our culture with the world while simultaneously learning more about their culture than Kansas City. We should all be very, very happy and very proud of what we as a community and we as a city accomplished over the last 30 days or so. We got to see some pretty amazing things in this soccer tournament. Whether it was Lionel Messi kicking things off and scoring 3 goals, whether it was one of the great goalkeeping performances in the history of this thing. Rob, you and I got an opportunity to go to one of the games. Still one of the crazier endings that I've ever seen in person at a sporting event. Even crazier than Conor McGregor quitting after 37 seconds of fighting. We had a pretty incredible march through downtown Kansas City. We had a couple of elimination games. Lionel Messi, they were down early in that one, played without a man, ended up scoring 3-1. It could not have gone any better. Whatever your vision of the World Cup, and there were certainly some that saw what the potential could be on a very positive, and we're going to talk to the mayor coming up in about 5 minutes. But I can admit, it was a little bit doom and gloom for the last 30 days heading into it. It was a little doom and gloom for the last 45 minutes. And it was almost like when Lionel Messi scored that first goal, and I think people got to see it and experience it and go down to Fan Fest and touch it and hold it and be a part of it, Kansas City embraced it in pretty record numbers. The television numbers, phenomenal. The Fan Fest, phenomenal. The games, everything centered around the World Cup has really, really been first class. And this, to me, is a highlight to the rest of the nation and a highlight to any sports entity. You can do your major event outside of LA or Chicago or New York. You can do your major event in Kansas City. They will go, they will buy it, they will support it, they will do the things around your major event. This is just the beginning. And I think we have been ramping up and showing people this over the last 10 years starting with the Royals and how the city embraced the Royals. Follow that into the Chiefs run. Follow that into Kansas City supports women's soccer more than any city in the United States. How Kansas City handled the NFL draft. Like, there have been a lot of small tests along the way that got you ready for the final exam, and Kansas City absolutely aced it. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of our community. I'm proud of how we came together to support one of the greatest sporting events that we have. Coming up on the other side, we're going to be joined by the mayor of Kansas City. We're celebrating the end of the World Cup here. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay Steak inside Harrah's Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
The world's best soccer teams know success comes from having the right lineup on the field. AAA believes your insurance should work the same way. By bundling 2 or more policies, such as auto and home insurance, you can simplify your coverage and potentially earn a multi-policy discount. It's a smart way to save time, reduce costs, and keep everything under one trusted team. Visit AAA.com to build your winning lineup and see how much you could save with AAA Insurance. That's AAA.com.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
The Second World War is the largest event in human history.
A 20-part series with Tom Hanks.
No part of the globe was untouched. No life unchanged.
Experience the ultimate account of World War II.
Every single person had a story. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Listen to World War II with Tom Hanks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Text line 913-586-7965. We started the show today celebrating Kansas City and how they performed at the World Cup. I don't think it could have gone much better. Whatever complaints that you had, let's say 90 days ago, I think we found out in real time that you shouldn't have felt that way. I was worried about the 23-6 rule. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Rob, did you really hear anything about it? There were, 10 bars that were allowed to stay open 23 hours? Didn't really hear much negative publicity. Didn't really hear any problem arose. And the conversation was directly, hey, this wouldn't have happened if we hadn't have had this rule in place. I feel like that ended up working out for everybody. Aside from day one and that first game trying to get out there for the Argentina game, really wasn't much conversation about the shuttle. Everything seemed to work very fine. The Fan Fest, didn't really hear many complaints about Fan Fest. The streetcar operated at a very, very great rate. So I'm excited to have the mayor on. He's running a little bit behind today. He is going to be on the show, just running 10 minutes late. But whatever complaint that you had about the World Cup 90 days ago, now that we had it, now that we experienced it, now that it is in the rearview mirror, I don't really know if there was any reason to be worried about it. I think Kansas City pulled it off immaculately. I think Kansas City gets an A+, not just an A. I think Kansas City gets an A+ for how they've handled the World Cup.
I agree. I also think two things can be true at once. I do think Visit KC and the powers that be may have overestimated the visitors coming to Kansas City, which led to an overestimation of how much money everyone's going to make. I think that is a fair complaint. If you were saying, hey, I'm going to Airbnb my house and I'm going to have my house paid off by this 6 weeks, that probably didn't happen to you. You probably didn't become a millionaire by hosting an Argentine family over the last 6 weeks. That, if you thought that was happening, I understand why you're a little frustrated. But walking away from the World Cup, there is absolutely no negative I can think of. Even considering the lofty and probably too high of expectations, I think Kansas City absolutely shined. The one hiccup they did have, transportation, they fixed it after one game. They said, okay, that was a problem. Let's make some fixes. So I think Kansas City shined on the biggest stage possible, and I'm very proud of how the city handled itself. I now would like to see maybe more public transit in the city in general, but that's just, maybe a little wishful thinking by me because we clearly showed it does work.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I mean, we've lived in Kansas City enough to know that Kansas City is just a car city. I think we all would like more public transportation. I don't know how much we would really use it, but I mean, I'm very interested to hear the streetcar numbers. I also saw the streetcar numbers based on what stop people get on and based on what stop that they get off. I mean, people absolutely use the streetcar. So that is definitely a conversation worth having with the mayor of Kansas City. Text line 913-586-7965 I drove people to and from the World Cup. I was surprised by every single person saying how much they like Kansas City and that it wasn't what they expected. And they were talking about how they would move here, that they liked it so much. I probably heard that at least 20 times. I am a very strong believer in that. Because we all have friends that don't live in Kansas City or people that don't live in Kansas City. If you come to Kansas City and you're here for 3 or 4 days, you will absolutely have a great time. Whatever your stereotype, however you think it is, if you come to Kansas City and you do the touristy things, you will absolutely have a great time. I just don't think that we view our city that way as a touristy place, which makes a lot of sense. But if you were looking at Kansas City through the eyes of a tourist, you would love it. It's super easy to get around. It's very cost efficient. It's cool stuff to see. There's fountains everywhere. It's very pretty. The people are really nice. Especially now during the World Cup, there's a lot to do. Yeah, if you were looking at Kansas City through the eyes of a tourist and you went into it with like no expectations, because we've all been on that trip before. Like you've been to a trip and you're like, man, this place is going to be terrible. And then you get there and like, wait, hold on. Like the food is really good. The weather is great. Like we've all had that kind of trip before. Kansas City is absolutely one of those places for sure. If you have no clue, if you don't know ball and you come, yes, you will absolutely leave having a great time.
I also think, and now listen, I haven't seen videos from every single World Cup, city and everything. I think Kansas City did a really good job of leaning into the World Cup. I mean, Argentinian fans, Colombian fans, Ecuador fans, they all took their turn taking over, Mill Creek Park. They all took a turn taking over the city. At one point, the city was blue. At one point, the city was yellow. At one point, the city was orange. Like Kansas City leaned into what makes the World Cup great, which is embracing what these other teams do, celebrating them, and then they go about their business. I bet if we called Danny or Nick, hey, did New York stop because of the World Cup? Like, did you notice cool stuff in town? Probably not, because New York has stuff going on all the time. It doesn't stand out. But Kansas City really leaned into it. You saw video after video of just, hey, they're having a big party down the park. It's all the Argentinian fans, all the Colombian fans, whatever have you. I think Kansas City embraced what made the World Cup great, and that's why Kansas City is getting such high reviews across the global stage for what they did as a host city.
Today's show is going to be one without plan. Today's show is going to be off vibes. Rob, now I'm going to tell some stories. I'd like for you to also participate and tell some stories. Text line 913-586-7965. That's just kind of what the All-Star break kind of does. And we got more than enough time for Chiefs random hypotheticals and to tell you how Josh Simmons is going to do. I don't know if we need to do that on July 13th. So, Rob, I want to tell you a story. And I only want to tell you this story because I believe, I want to say every man, 95% of you have a crazy girl story. I'm convinced. Maybe you're just sitting around with your guys, you're having some brews, and if you look at your friend and say, hey, Bill, tell me your crazy girl story, he's got one. Now I want to tell you one about a woman. Her name is Lindsay Harris. This woman is in Pennsylvania. So she matched with a young man on one of the apps, and they went on a date. They met in January. It takes a little bit of time for her to warm up and feel comfortable. They went on a date 3 weeks later. Well, the man, for whatever reason, decided that one date was enough. We've all been in that situation. Sometimes it's purposeful. Sometimes it just, hey, this was fun, but I didn't feel a romantic chemistry between us. I didn't feel a spark. It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with me. We're just not each other's person. So this man decided to stop seeing Lindsay Harris. Now, Rob, you would think, hey, this happens, right? This is the game. You go on a date with somebody. Just because you have a good date one doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get date 2 or date 3. It's a process. Well, months later, this woman decided that she wanted to have her own date. This is the news report. The police allege that this woman broke into the man's house and was attempting to get him back. They spotted her sneaking into his house through a window, and she was carrying a bottle of red wine and some Italian ice water in preparation for what she believed was going to be a steamy evening. So she thought that this was, hey, I like you. I want to see if this can go somewhere. Rob, he called the cops on her and is pressing charges for breaking and entering is what he has happened. Supposedly, this is not the first time that she has tried to do this. I am a believer, Rob, that everybody has a crazy ex, crazy girl story. This doesn't have to be just gender specific. I don't want you to think that. Your wife absolutely has a crazy ex story, but I am a believer, Rob, wholeheartedly. Everybody has that story.
I mean, I feel like outside of random sports, conversations and knowledge and like, hey, do you guys remember, Chester McLaughlin, that kind of thing in the bar? Most times hanging out at the bar with the fellas, sometimes hey, I gotta tell you about this one crazy encounter I had does come up as a conversation point. That's like, listen, TikTok and Instagram don't get everything right, but those reels are like, what do men do for fun? Well, we talk about random athletes, and sometimes what's the opposite of wax poetically about crazy previous encounters we had with one particular individual, which you're right. I'm betting works both ways. If my wife and her friends got together, they probably all have one crazy X type of story the same way men do.
So listen to this. It's the end of the story. So this happened in late June where she broke, and we're just finding out the story. So the man, he did a news interview, and he said that he thinks that she's been there multiple times as he's come home and he's realized some stuff that has been moved around or out of place. We've all been in that situation. Like, hold on, did I move that over there? You might not be crazy. Somebody might be crazy, but it's not you. So she has been charged with burglary, criminal trespass, stalking, and harassment in connection with the incident. Fellas, stay safe. That's the best message that I can give to all of you in this. And why we're talking about this story is I just want you to stay safe. I just want you to take care of yourself. You never know. He says that he never told her his address. It doesn't matter. On the internet, you can find out just about anything. If you really are that dedicated, if you really want to be on your Carmen Sandiego, you can find out a lot of information by people by just really being diligent and really doing your Google searches. She did a Google search, found out where my man lived, pulled up with the vino, pulled up with some Italian ice water, ready to get her man back. Now you know she in love lockup.
I mean, if I came home and there was a stranger in my home and they were like, they didn't know where I lived and yet were in my home, I would also have called the police. Also, Italian what is this? It's wine and what's the other thing?
That's what this news story says. She had a bottle of red wine and some Italian water ice.
What is Italian water ice?
I don't know. We got to Google it, but that's what she showed up with. She showed up ready. Someone on the text line says, I dated a girl for a couple weeks. Then one day she randomly showed up in my bedroom at 5 a.m. one night drunk. She said she watched and remembered my garage key code. I think if we just opened up to the text line right now and just started reading people's crazy girl stories, I think you would hear some absolutely crazy ones. Some insane ones you would hear. Because a woman sneaking in your house through the window, carrying red wine, hoping that you're going to spend time with her, that's near the top of the list. That's near the top. I don't know if that one can be beat. Have you ever climbed in the window to get into anybody's house before? Have you ever climbed into a window to get into that's real dedication to the cause.
I mean, to the text line story, memorizing the garage code because you saw it. It wasn't like, now I don't know the texter's whole story. It wasn't like they were, serious and they shared the garage code. She just saw it, memorized it. Your code must have been too easy. That's insane to me.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it was 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. But I mean, women have incredible memories when they really want to remember something. Like they will remember something that you said 7 months ago and they can repeat it to you verbatim. And you're like, oh yeah, I probably said that. You don't remember. They certainly remember. I don't know how they do it. It is a gift that they have been given, but no, women's memories. So yeah, if she really wanted to know and store your garage key code, she didn't need to see you do it too many times. She saw you do it once or twice and she absolutely has 7, 8, 9, 2 completely memorized. And then she just tapped into that right part of her brain and then used it to pop up in your bedroom one day. You know how scared you would be if you're just having a good night's sleep, you're just resting, and next thing you know, it's this crazy woman that you used to talk to 5 weeks ago just staring at you while you're sleeping, I'd be terrified. That's really a horror movie. We don't got to keep making these make-believe ones. That's a real story right there.
And I can't get over the garage code thing. I barely remember my garage code, and I used my garage code. I can't imagine watching and memorizing. That's an insane level.
Text line 913-586-7965. The mayor, how did the mayor pick a time and then he's late for the time that he picked?
Yeah, we were told, hey, any time in this window works. How's this time work? Perfect.
Now
okay.
We don't know what time he's coming on. Now, is he still coming on the show today? What's happening?
I was told to run 10 minutes behind 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I have no clue what's happening here. All right, you know what? Don't worry. We will figure it out. The mayor of Kansas City will be on the show at one point. All right, Rob, let's get back to the World Cup. What was your favorite memory from all of this? Is there a story that you think 5-10 years down the line, whenever, you have a little Rob Brenton and you're teaching him to be a soccer fan and he's a little Chelsea fan, and he asks you, did you go to the World Cup in 2026? You're like, yeah, I was there. What story do you think you will tell from the World Cup in Kansas City?
That's a great question. Because I don't think it's going to be about the actual match. Although me and you saw a doozy of a match. We were at the same one. But I don't think I'm going to tell my child, like, you know what I saw? Algeria and Austria play to a draw. It was great. I mean, I'll remember that forever, but I don't know what story I'm going to tell. Honestly, the thing I'm going to walk away from with this World Cup is not a singular moment, but just soccer fandom in the World Cup is just different. It was not, a contentious Chiefs and Raiders. It was not a KU K-State. It was not, hey, I don't like even Chiefs Jags, where, it's like they're the enemy inside of Arrowhead. It was just an abundance of happiness despite teams cheering for the other opponent. I was there when Austria fans and Algerian fans started dancing and partying in the streets together because they had played to a draw. That's not really a thing you see in the NFL. Even if one team had won, you don't really see it. One team's happy, one team's upset. It just seemed like there was general happiness. I mean, there's videos now of Argentina fans and Switzerland fans, having a good time together. Just the general contentment and happiness that soccer brought to the city and the fans' experience while the World Cup is happening is the main takeaway I'll have, because it's so different than the other sports we've seen.
Yeah, my story would be this. I think it's become kind of cool to be the contrarian. Like, it's cool to say that something is not cool. Like, it is cool to be the one that, pokes holes in something or tells you that something you saw wasn't the greatest that you've ever seen. Like, we've kind of seen that turn over time. You haven't seen one person do that about Lionel Messi's hat trick. Lionel Messi's hat trick is why you watch sports. You watch sports with the hope of either you will see somebody do something incredible or you will get the chance of witnessing an incredible game. It is the uncertainty of going into it. You hope that when you go to a baseball game, somebody throws a no-hitter. You hope that when you go to a baseball game, someone will hit 4 home runs or you'll see a perfect game. And the pursuit of that, keeps you going. It's what keeps you going out there. I genuinely feel like that first World Cup game, that was seeing Tiger Woods at his prime. If you didn't get a chance to see Barry Bonds back in 2005, you saw Barry Bonds that day at Arrowhead Stadium. That was seeing Michael Jordan in 96 score 50 points. It was one of those performances. Now, I know that's not going to have the closeness of a 13-second or some of the other incredible things that the Chiefs have done there, but you could argue that that is the greatest moment in the history of that stadium that has seen a lot of great, incredible moments, especially during this Patrick Mahomes run. That was seeing the absolute best at the absolute height of his powers go out and dominate on the world stage. So yeah, I think the lasting memory of this is going to be Lionel Messi's last World Cup. And in that first game, him having the hat trick, I think that's going to be the legacy. I would also say, I think the second legacy is going to be, by now, everybody has seen the picture. That first picture of the Royals parade, and you see all of that blue in front of the Liberty Memorial and in front of Union Station. And you just see how many people it is. And you're like, I've never seen that many people in one condensed area. I think that's how people are going to talk about the Orange Walk. It's obviously not going to be the same as the parade for a bunch of different reasons. And there were, 10 times fewer amount of people that were there. But that visual of seeing all of that orange and seeing it downtown, I think that's going to be the lasting memory from this World Cup. I believe the mayor just called in. I'm not 100% sure. The phone is ringing. He is there. How do you want to handle this, Rob, with the commercial? All right. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by the mayor of Kansas City. Mayor Quentin Lucas joins us on the show today. Mayor Q, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to everybody. Sorry about the delay. We're all working hard this Monday, making sure we can plan for the next big thing.
No, absolutely. So let's just start with this. I led the show today with how incredibly proud I am for Kansas City and how I think they showcase themselves. I think there was a little bit of doom and gloom for that 30 days and 45 days heading into the World Cup, whether it was the flights or the hotels or whatever it was. Once it got here and once Lionel Messi had that first hat trick, I think Kansas City absolutely embraced this tournament. I think it's an A+ for how it's handled itself the last 6 weeks or so.
I think that what you saw was Kansas City really come together in a number of different ways. And everybody talks about the region and all the other steps, and that's great. That being said, I think that when you compare us to other World Cup cities, the amount of takeover that this had in particularly entertainment districts in and around Kansas City, if you went to one of those banderazos, that was where Argentina and Colombia and Ecuador had events at Mill Creek Park on the plaza. Obviously, the Dutch parade. I mean, there were so many steps along the way that said, not only are we doing this fine, are we surviving it, we are excelling as a city and a community. And I'll add this, and I'll pick this fight. You compare us to some other American markets that get major events all the time, and I've been to a lot of them, and you have too. When you have the culture of Kansas City, the activity, compare us against Indianapolis, compare us against some of the others. I don't think there is a more dynamic host of a global or national event, and we got to prove that in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, the point that I made to lead the show is there is not a city in America that loves sports more than Kansas City. There's some cities that you would put on the same tier. Boston is one of those cities. Like, there's other great sports cities. But if you were just saying tier A, S tier, whatever the kids say, Kansas City, I think, has shown time and time again that they are on that tier. So if you're a major sporting event or a major event and you want support, Kansas City, I think, has shown time and time again that they will rally around whatever idea you have.
And let's take a look at every step of the path, too. I mean, the thing about this one is like the credit and the blame, but in this situation, the credit doesn't go to any one party. If you were saying, all right, I need a market that, even though it's a smaller market compared to others, is able to get the government incentive support that it needs. You had Republicans and Democrats, Kansans and Missourians, city people, country people, suburbanites, who all said, no, this is big enough, we're going to make this happen. Law enforcement, who all work together. And then the teams and the entities themselves. I mean, look, the Chiefs, Sporting, the Current. The Kansas City Royals were invested in this. And I'll just give you one small vignette about them. Team Curacao showed up in town, and we were like, all right, they're small. We need to do something special for them. I think we called the Royals the day before and said, can y'all do something for them? You have a suite or something? They set that up. They rolled it out. They did that, obviously, for Team England. You had this kind of everybody who could be a part of it stepping up to do their things. And let me just talk about the everyday people of our community. Volunteers in the thousands who were standing out there, for those of us who saw them at Fan Fest, and it's like 900 degrees outside. You saw them in the Arrowhead parking lot. You've seen them in lots of places. I mean, the people of Kansas City showed up and showed out in a way that I don't think anybody was expecting. And I started seeing it bubbling right before, because, I read all the negative stories and heard all the news, and then, like, the businesses that had shops that weren't really adjacent to what was going on with the World Cup, they're making their noise. But I think a lot of people said, wait a minute, this is great for us, and I think it has delivered.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, as we are celebrating the World Cup as it is coming to a close here in Kansas City. Still another week in the tournament, but the Kansas City portion of it is done. Mayor, that's one of the parts that I didn't like and I didn't think was fair. everybody supports small business. Everybody wants to see everybody win. Everybody wants to support local. But I felt like the news was going out of its way to go to Olathe to talk to the small business owner about how the World Cup isn't helping. Well, you're 30 minutes away from where all the World Cup stuff is happening. Of course things aren't going so hot for you related to the World Cup. I just thought some of the conversation around it was a little bit unfair as kind of looking for that lens of finding the thing that went wrong instead of highlighting the 50 things that went right.
You know, I was just in a back and forth on a different radio show today where somebody was asking me, but do you all regret hyping it too much? I'm like, no, particularly they shouldn't visit KC or the Sports Commission. Their job is hype. You want to promote your city. We do not want to have a city that was saying, oh, World Cup's coming. What y'all think? Like, well, you know, we're in the middle, and the president tweeted some yesterday, and I just really don't know. So I guess we're going to try our best. No, we hyped the hell out of it, and we should have. And you know why? Because in my inbox 2 seconds ago, I got a message from KCI Airport that said it was the busiest travel day in the history of Kansas City International Airport on Sunday. Busiest day in the history of KCI. Right, and they've had several of those already. The people were here. If you look at the sheer numbers, 400,000 plus inside Arrowhead Stadium for a summer that usually has, 3 concerts, some Kenny Chesney, and like a monster truck thing, right? Like this was something that was unique, special, brought people from outside the market. And on the business stories, and look, I'm going to take my one moment to vent, even though I understand, media's going to do what media's going to do. The thing that was the most interesting to me was the whole World Cup is a failure for local businesses. Those stories were all coming out like on the day of the first match or like right after the first one. And I'm like, you have a 6-game tournament. And everybody was saying, oh, my God, the traffic was the worst I've ever experienced and the businesses or whatever, and this is just terrible. And we always knew it was going to be terrible, and everybody's hurting. And I think, some of us did try to say, now hold on a minute. Look at actually what this is doing. And I think as you see, and I've talked to a lot of businesses, I tell people I'm one of the few people in Kansas City who eats out twice a day, almost every day, talks to people, listens. It was better for some than others, but I think it is all good. And Lord knows this World Cup, and I'm going to thank FIFA for it. They brought the customers here. Now, it takes us to make sure they're going all the places. But when I have KCI breaking records again and again, when I got all these people coming in, spending a whole lot of money, I know that we had the opportunity, and I think a lot of Kansas City cashed in on it.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas. Now, sometimes, Mayor Q, being on your side makes me unpopular. The text line, they yell at me. I imagine they yell at you. I see you on Facebook. They're always tagging you and stuff. There could be a pothole somewhere. They mad at you for not coming out and fixing the thing.
No, that's right.
I will say, though, I was worried about the bar thing, and you and I had a very similar feeling about it. I don't feel like that was an issue. Maybe there's a story that I missed or something that happened, but I do feel like any concerns that people may have had about people staying out past X hour, I just didn't really hear a lot of stories attributed to, well, this wouldn't have happened if we had closed early.
Right. I think that actually came out right. There were 2 kind of restaurant bar adjacent stories that were just interesting to read on social media. One related to the automatic tips, and the other that probably even got more interest and traction related to the bar hours. And I got a whole bunch of haters on both. On the bar hours, I stand by the decision we've made, though, to make people come up with a security plan. You never know what came first, the chicken or the egg. Would everybody have just behaved? Maybe. Although I'll remind you, we had a shooting at a nightclub the weekend before this all started down at 76th and Truce, where you had 5 people hit, something like that. I mean, those are the sorts of things that frankly we were able to curtail more so without these kind of establishments that were open as late, right, having rules established. And I think the bars that you saw engage wanted to do right. They had submitted security plans. Frankly, I think this is a great model for big events, major events in the future for Kansas City, and saying, all right, we can loosen up some things, but we need to make sure that we have trustworthy actors long term. What we're not going to do is just have any Tom, Dick, or Harry come in and say, all right, yeah, I'm staying open late. I'm not going to have any rules, and I'll be on the outskirts of the city with no police enforcement nearby or anything of the sort. So it worked out. I think it was good. I think it was positive for those that took part in it. I also think, however, it was positive for the many other establishments that said we're going to stick to normal. I was out of Power and Light District this weekend. It was a good vibe. A bunch of the Swiss were there. Unsurprisingly, they weren't much trouble. But I think this, I think our nightlife showed well for Kansas City this summer, and I honestly hope that we are able to do this in the future without acting a fool or anything like that.
Now, we were just laughing and joking about how you get blamed for things. You can take credit for some things. You've been really pushing the streetcar. You've really been pushing streetcar expansion. I feel like all of your ideas and all of your hard work, it worked. Having the streetcar expanded and it being a model to get people around for the World Cup was absolutely the right play.
Let me just be straight with you, and this is for all the Royals Stadium doubters who will say, how will we ever get people in and out? Ladies and gentlemen, for 18 straight days, we just had a fan fest across from the site of Royal Stadium, where, by the way, we had on one day 50,000 people. On other days, we had in the high tens of thousands, mid-20s of thousands, 30,000 people and beyond. We basically had a Royals crowd, and on some days exceeding a Royals crowd or Royals playoff-type crowd that was there each and every day. Streetcar is a huge story of it. And I was riding the streetcar yesterday, just by my lonesome, no security, no anything like that. The train was still full of people from Argentina. The train had a whole bunch of people who were going to work every walk of life. It is actually how Kansas City can better connect all of these districts that are close, downtown, Riverfront, Westport Plaza, Midtown, Brookside, but have always been a little too distant. What we have been able to do in the last, I'll argue, 5 years, and yes, I've been mayor for all of it, to all of my skeptics out there, but what we have been able to do is connect Kansas City in a way that makes us more dynamic, more sellable, I think more attractive to any convention organizer, sporting event organizer than we have ever been before. And you tell me the mid-sized market city that has more dynamism in that type of connection in short order than us. I've been to all of them. I haven't seen it sitting in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indy, St. Louis, or any of these others, and I think that's going to be a game changer for us as we look for major events ahead.
I'm guessing this is a question that you probably get asked the most right now. What's the plan for the Heart? Where is the Heart going to go?
So the Heart, Heart in its current iteration is going to be refashioned. It was made temporarily. It's plywood, all of that. We've already been getting quotes on what the Heart really looks like long term. My preference is the National World War I Museum and Memorial Lawn. I think that sits well. It's just kind of like the shuttlecocks, right, that are at Nelson Atkins, where you have this new modern art piece in front of that historic structure. I think, frankly, the Heart respects our World War I museum in terms of centering it, getting people down there. We had people getting married under it. We had people doing like all of these wonderful pictures and selfies and kisses and everything under the sun. It became really the focus in some ways, the sign of what this World Cup was all about. It is sticking around, and I shared this with some TV reporters today. Every big city project needs a 1% for the arts. You got to spend 1% of the project on an art installation. I think the baseball stadium being so close to where the Heart would be means that fits within the 1%, means we've got our funding already, and you get a new stadium, and you get to keep the Heart forever.
You've mentioned it a couple of times. What's the progress on the stadium? Is everything still in line for you guys to break ground here in the next 6 months, 7 months?
I love it. I mean, look, Kansas City, Missouri right now is on fire if y'all haven't been able to tell. The Kansas City Royals, and there was some news interest on this the other day, introduced legislation, or at least some groups working with them, in the City Planning Commission on the planning. I'm going to get real boring real quick, but there's a bunch of zoning work and planning and citing you need to do that has already been introduced, that is going to a hearing that's being discussed. And of course, we have other conversations going, but this project is moving. And what I've shared with people already who are asking, will it get slowed down by X or Y? The answer is largely no, it won't, because this is a project that is moving, that it is on fire, and I think the Royals, and I respect them for this, have been doing very well in connection with keeping the progress going on that. Kansas City Current, that project's moving as well. I think they want to have shovels in the ground at the end of the year. The Royals want to have shovels in the ground end of the year, early next year. I think that, what you're seeing, at least in our Kansas City, Missouri projects, is we're not talking locations, we're not talking about, even at this point, really, how does the financing work out? We know our models. We're going to get some good things done, and we're going to continue in this afterglow of the World Cup to make sure Kansas Cityans know this is a city that does major events, gets people big-time jobs, makes money for businesses, hotels, and others, and is going to be a city that's talked about over the decades ahead.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quinn Lucas, here for a couple of more minutes. Mayor Lucas, give me your story of the day of the Orange March. I mean, you got to actually be on the bus there. You were having a time, it looked like.
Man. Look, I'm from here. Your listeners know I'm from here for better or worse, so y'all got to blame yourselves for how I came out. But I think what I would say is I mean, I'm 41 years old. I'll just give y'all my age straight up. My Kansas City sports moments, my real memories, kind of begin with George Brett retiring, the Royals going on strike, Lynn Elliott missing field goals, Chiefs playoffs, Schottenheimer, Gunther Cunningham, some Dick Vermeil hopes. Then we finally get to the World Series for the Royals, so that win, Chiefs come back. Like, it's been on the come up the last 15 years. Don't get me wrong. That was one of my favorite days in my Kansas City, not just sports history, but in my Kansas City history. I showed up, you're the mayor, so you're shaking hands, taking pictures, all of that sort of stuff. I didn't know what to expect. The Dutch came amped for a 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in Kansas City. The crowd came amped, and let's just be real. The last big global story we were in related to the parade shooting, right? That was the last time I got called by the BBC and Sky Sports and all that sort of stuff. And these years on, in many ways, in the same footprint, to see 36,000 people marching down the street peacefully, jumping, dancing, kids, families, foreigners, residents, it was beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. It shows me what Kansas City can pull off, and it showed me some of the beauty of the World Cup.
I'll get you out of here with these last two questions. Did you have that Arrowhead nostalgia moment where there's just not too many legendary all-time you had to be there nights? I mean, we all love the Chiefs, but Chiefs-Jets at 12 o'clock, that's not giving you that you had to be there kind of moment. It's certainly going to have some more. We still got a couple more years left of it. But Lionel Messi having a hat trick or Lionel Messi going to the round of 8, that's one of those kind of moments of you had to be there at Arrowhead. I think a lot of people had that feeling after the first one.
I am not here to start too much controversy, but I may say it by this line because I've been thinking about it since I was at that match on Saturday night as well, which is that Arrowhead Stadium in many ways is the unique stadium that has been greater than most of the performances there. In the Mahomes era, we've been blessed by some, but think about it, right? The Chiefs won the first Super Bowl they won. They were attendees of Municipal Stadium back then, and then they just had decades of substandard performance through the 1980s and the 1970s, and then mediocrity into the 90s, some success starting in the 2000s, and then we finally started getting these epic AFC championships and others. So you almost say immediately, if you were being actually objective, and we're coming up with a list of the top 10 games in Arrowhead Stadium history, it is hard to argue that on that list there aren't at least 2 matches from this World Cup that we just saw in the last several weeks.
Who are you rooting for to win this thing? We're down to 4 teams.
Unfortunately, we have Argentina and England playing each other, 2 teams based in Kansas City. I mean, here's another story. You talk about legacy Kansas City spots. England practices in Swope Park. I don't know how many of y'all are from the hood of Kansas City or just from Kansas City. Swope Park, with everything that it's about. Most of us have been there, the zoo, or to hang out there or whatever, right? That's where they are, a team that is potentially going to the World Cup final. That's amazing. Then Argentina and all that they've done in Kansas City and their connection. So I said a lot of words to suggest that I think that France and my man Mbappe gets through. And then on the other side, Argentina and England, they're both my children. I love them both. I'm going to do the Donna Kelsey and wear the jersey with both colors on it.
I very rarely give you advice, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice. I would just leave Tech9 alone for like 6 weeks. You guys used him enough for all of this stuff. You got to let him rest until football season. He gets an off season too.
He deserves it. He needs it. I mean, it was funny. I was talking to a bunch of different sports people, and I was just kind of like, man, I don't know if anybody's ready for training camp yet. I know y'all got to turn around and cover that. The Royals, God love them. I'm not even going to talk about Royals' performance lately, but more than anything, I think I'm just going to say, all of us are going to sit on our couches for a little while and be in that air conditioning because you have seen me dancing, jumping, everything else. The rest of Kansas City, I'm proud of them. But, we all need to relax for a while.
That is the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, joining us on the show today to celebrate the end of the World Cup in Kansas City. Mayor Lucas, we appreciate you. We'll catch up with you closer to football season.
Can't wait, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. That is the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, joining us on the show. Rob, you know that one Popeyes workers meme where the worker is just tired? That's how we were using Tech9 for the last couple of weeks, man. Tech9 was booked and busy everywhere. He was at the game. He was at FanFest. He was at Power and Light. They had him doing everything. He was doing the intros. He was reading. He was handing out the soccer balls. Tech9 been getting a lot of work during this World Cup. So if you know Tech9, tell him that Carrington saw the work that he was putting in. He should just take a couple of weeks, go to Turks and Caicos, go to Cancun, go to Cabo for a little bit, rest, relax, and come back for training camp, Where's Gold at right now? Go where he is. Just be there for the week. Put your toes in the sand somewhere and just kick back and relax. Because Tech 9, he was booked and busy for these last couple of weeks. We're going to continue to celebrate the end of the World Cup in Kansas City. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Is anyone paying attention to rural Kansas? Everything costs way too much, and the politicians in Topeka keep siding with big tech and give a thumbs up to these massive data centers. We need someone who will fight for our farmers and ranchers and all the working people of Kansas. Vicki Schmidt is running for governor. She's the insurance commissioner who is laser focused on lowering costs and taking a stand against these out-of-state tech companies. Vicki's running mate is Joe Newland. He's the former Kansas Farm Bureau president who has spent his career farming himself and advocating for our rural communities. Vicki Schmidt and Joe Newland will fight tirelessly to protect our land, water, and way of life. That's why the Kansas Farm Bureau has endorsed Vicki and Joe. Finally, someone who has our back. Vicki Schmidt and Joe Newland for governor and lieutenant governor. Defend US PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Dustin McIntyre, Treasurer. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. DefendUSPAC.us.
Only 4 teams remain in the FIFA World Cup, and there's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. There are only 4 teams remaining, as we had mentioned. France is currently trading at a little over 40%, meaning a $100 trade could net you $239 in profit. I've been saying since the beginning of the tournament that I liked them, so you can imagine I still do, at least at that probability. See what everybody's trading at over on Kalshi, because on Kalshi you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and the probability changes. You can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Post Malone presents the Big Ass Stadium Tour. Returns for part 2 with special guests Jelly Roll and Carter Faith. 9-time Diamond Certified Phenomenon, Post Malone. Live this Wednesday at Kauffman Stadium. Get tickets now at postmalone.com. The Big Ass Stadium Tour Part 2. This time, it's even bigger.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Weather brought to you by Capital One. Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank guide. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help. And help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening rounds all the way to the final. Last week, Spain was trading at 17% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade could pay out $572 if they win soccer's biggest prize. Want to know what they're at today? Check Kalshi. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PITCH to get a $10 credit when you trade $10. KALSHI Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Must be present in state where it is legal to trade. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, value, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. $10 free credit with no expiration. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today, and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Bet365 presents Odyssey Sports Midsummer Baseball Showcase Special from Philadelphia, Monday, July 13th, starting at 9 o'clock. Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, so we've been talking about this, but there is a list that is currently going on with ESPN. So they talked to 70 different league executives, coaches, and scouts, and they rank them at every position in the National Football League. This is one of my favorite off-season bits. It's almost over. There's 3 more position groups. So they're going to do off-ball linebackers. So I got like Nick Bolton. We'll see where he fits. Wide receiver is on Wednesday, and safeties is on Thursday. So there's still a couple of position groups left. We've gone through this. Today was the day everybody was waiting for. Today was the quarterback position. Let's get you the top 10. Number 10, Caleb Williams. Number 9, Jared Goff. Number 8, Drake May. 7, Justin Herbert. 6, Dak Prescott. The top 5, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen was number 1 on the list. It was actually interesting. I'm not really here to argue the number 2 versus number 1. Mahomes had more first place votes, but more people had Allen in the 1 and 2 on the list. Somebody had Patrick Mahomes as the 9th best quarterback in the league. No one had Josh Allen lower than 4th. So just a composite score, Josh Allen's score was a little bit higher than Patrick Mahomes. I do want to get to the local part about this, but Rob, let's just start with this. Is there a name that you were expecting to be in the top 10 that is not in the top 10 Out of that list, is there a guy that you think is a top 10 quarterback that didn't get labeled as top 10?
Not that hit my ear immediately. Now, I think we all kind of know what top 10 quarterback play looks like, and I think Caleb Williams would be a little low based on what he did last year because they do this list every season. I think he probably should have been higher than just 10. But based on my quick listening to it, I did not hear a glaring omission. I have some thoughts about where players rank within the top 10, but I don't think there was some, wow, can you believe that guy got left off?
Yeah, I'm with you there. It was surprising to me. The thing that was maybe the most surprising is the league still loves Justin Herbert. Like, there was a quote in here about Herbert. You know, they have these anonymous quotes about how the league just can't give up on him. Quote, if you're taking quarterbacks to build around, you would still take him pretty high. There's a reason that the Chargers OC was the best job available, and it's because of their quarterback. McDaniel's going to be able to streamline some things for Herbert and potentially help him take the next level. I'm sitting there and we'll get to the Josh Allen part of this conversation there. We could do a whole 4 hours on the list and how they do this. He's never won a playoff game. Like, we criticize Lamar for not going to the Super Bowl. Only one quarterback can win the Super Bowl. Rob, a lot of quarterbacks can win a playoff game. Playoffs. He's never won a playoff game. I understand it because it jumps off the screen. He's very physically imposing. I see it with Justin Herbert. At some point, the perception and the production, they got to intersect at some point with Justin Herbert. And he's now 28 years old, and we still have no clue. Never won his division, never won a playoff game. Well, they're in the same division as the Chiefs. That didn't stop Bo Nix from winning the division last year. He's won the division. Drake May's in the same division as Josh Allen. Didn't stop him from winning the division last year. The Justin Herbert thing, again, I understand it. He puts up really good fantasy football numbers. There's no question about it. At what point with Justin Herbert are we going to see the production and the potential? They got to intersect at some point, and that just has not happened so far in his career.
I understand what you're saying. The production has not matched how people feel about him, but I also feel like when you watch him play, he is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like, he just is. I don't know why he wilts in January, but boy, does he. But as someone who has to watch him twice a year, like that's what we do in Kansas City, you're telling me you watch him and you don't think he's a top 10 quarterback? I just don't know that's correct either. He is a fascinating case study because when you see him play, you get it, but you also then look at the, accolades, and there's none. I don't understand Justin Herbert, but I also think if you have Justin Herbert at 12 on your quarterback list, you're wrong. Like, there's an eye test thing I hear, and I just can't put a metric on.
He's the least accomplished good quarterback at this stage in his career that we've ever seen. I understand not having a Super Bowl, right? I get it. Again, only one person can win it. So Mahomes can't go to 5, and then you got 4, and then that's not how it works. I understand that. He doesn't have a playoff win. He's never played well in the postseason. What's the Justin Herbert memory? Like, let's say that tomorrow he was Andrew Luck. He just woke up one day and said, man, my body really hurts, and I just want to follow my girlfriend around, and I just want to tour. I've made $60 million. I don't care about the rest of the money that they owe me. I just want to live the rest of my life. What will you remember about Justin Herbert? Has he done anything memorable? At any point in his career, has he done anything memorable? Because Josh Allen's done some memorable stuff. Now, he hasn't got to the big game. Lamar Jackson has done some memorable stuff. Justin Herbert has no memories. No, nothing. All he has is regular season numbers. They ain't even that tough. Last year, Rob, he didn't throw for 4,000 yards. He had 13 interceptions. Like, we talk about Justin Herbert like he's putting up Aaron Rodgers' regular season numbers and running into tough luck. He's thrown less than 50 touchdown passes the last 2 seasons. He threw the last 3 years for Justin Herbert. 20 touchdown passes, 23 and 26. The way we talk about Herbert, you would think it was 37, 41, and 35, not 20, 23, and 26. He's Sam Darnold with the better agent is who he is. I bet you if we look up the last 3 years, I bet you Darnold's been better than him. Like if we do a blind test right now and I show you Darnold and I show you Justin Herbert, I bet you that Darnold's been better than him.
The question would be the Darnold's third year. If we did that study, he was a backup with the Niners for 1 year.
We agree. Last two is not close.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last two is not close. I also think, I don't know how ESPN does their rankings, how much of it's projecting forward. I do say as a Chiefs fan and a person in the AFC West, I'm fascinated by see him with Mike McDaniels because if anyone's going to make it look better and statistically look stronger, I think it's McDaniels. But if he can't do it, no one can. But I do think Justin Herbert just has there's just something when you watch him play that I understand why people have the allure.
All right, we'll keep talking about this quarterback list coming up in a bit. We're also going to continue to bounce back and forth between the World Cup. Today, we are doing our proper send-off from the World Cup. If you're one of those, I don't want to listen to soccer people, we don't have too many more days left of the soccer. The soccer is over in Kansas City. We're going to celebrate it today. But I don't know if we're getting a whole lot of Argentina-England breakdowns on the show. Not really how this show gets down. So we're going to say bye to the World Cup. We're going to salute it. I thought Kansas City did a phenomenal job. I'm going to look up those numbers on the other side. We'll keep talking about this quarterback list as well. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see Casey's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com, Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because you had just one more 3 rounds ago. Because the 5 a.m. flight seemed like a good idea at the time. Because check engine lights always appear at the worst possible times. And because parking downtown is a nightmare. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Sun, sand, and stress-free travel start with Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking. Keep your car cool with all covered parking and enjoy fast shuttles right to the terminal. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
A North KC 35 northbound in front. We've got right lane blocked by a stall. Debris in the road. 70 eastbound past Broadway. Left lane is blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We got some more ratings numbers for the FIFA World Cup. For the game between Norway and England, 19.4 million viewers tuned in for that one. For the Argentina game against Switzerland, 15.9 million viewers for that one. So the two soccer matches that we had on Saturday. Rob, are you surprised that the Argentina one didn't do more? I just would think that Messi would be the draw, but it's also the difference between night and the middle of the day.
And also, the perception was they were playing a lesser team. We're like,
Norway England was a good matchup. Like, one, I was like, I want to see this one.
Yeah, and it had more star power. Like, no offense to the Swiss. Like, can you name a player in Switzerland? Probably not. You can name Erling Haaland. You can name Harry Kane. Like, there was more star power.
And that Jude Bellingham guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's good.
He's very good. He was actually just I think I saw a video yesterday. He was just wandering around Prairie Village, minding his business, getting some ice cream.
Yeah, I saw one of my friends actually took a picture with him at Up Down.
Yeah, just
hanging out at Up Down. Like one of the 15 best soccer players in the world, just hanging out at Up Down. One of us. They really are one of us. I want to get back to the conversation we were just having about Justin Herbert. So someone just said, C-Dot, what about Peyton Manning? How long did it take Peyton Manning to win his first postseason game? It took Peyton Manning 7 years to win his first postseason game. So the guy just said, just curious, what did you think about Peyton? I think it's important to note with Peyton Manning, Peyton also won MVP his second year as well. I also think we have these conversations about Peyton in real time, so I don't think it's revisionist history. It is also important to note that before that, Peyton was showing you elite level production. So by the time Peyton, Rob, wins his first postseason game, he has led the NFL in touchdown passes. He has also led the NFL in yards in multiple seasons. So, he had real accomplishments. He also had won MVP before then. Justin Herbert has no accomplishments. He has one. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is a good one. Hey, that's
By the
great.
way, it was the COVID year too, right?
That's a great year.
Asterisk. Maybe if you wanted to be a hater, you could put an asterisk on it because of the COVID year.
Since then, he doesn't have anything. He's never finished top 5 in MVP. He's never been All-Pro. He has 2 Pro Bowl appearances. So I understand the comparison. Yes, some guys are late bloomers, for sure. Peyton Manning was a late bloomer, so to speak, for sure. But I can't keep using this for Herbert when a quarterback in your division broke through. The argument for him used to be, well, how can you win the division? The Chiefs are in it. Well, the Chiefs won 6 games last year. That didn't stop the Broncos. That didn't stop Bo Nix from putting up. And a lot of us feel like they would have went to the Super Bowl last year if it wasn't for the Bo Nix injury. So 2 teams in your division would have gone to a Super Bowl before you've won a playoff game. So that is important to note to me with Herbert. And it's just also how he's played in those games. He's just been disappointing. There's just really no other way to put it. He's been very, very disappointing. So, yeah, if the argument's going to be is, well, that's like Peyton Manning, I guess, is he going to finish with 2? Do you think that he turns himself into a no-doubt Hall of Famer? Because I don't know too many people that don't have Peyton Manning in their top 10. If you gave your top 10 quarterbacks of all time, Peyton Manning is in that top 10. Is Justin Herbert going to be? He's not a top 5 quarterback of his own era and his own generation. So I just think comparing him to Peyton, I understand that it took Peyton a little bit of time and they had those early losses and he eventually had to break through. But are you if I set the over under right now, 0.5 Super Bowls for Justin Herbert, does anybody feel confident taking the over? Because Peyton won 2. Does anybody feel confident taking the over?
No. Let me ask you this.
Peyton also probably went to 7 AFC championship games, too. That's also important to know. Now, they would always lose to the Patriots in those. But, yeah, he definitely made a handful of AFC championship games.
Is it possible that he's Detroit Matt Stafford? I'm trying to find a comparison for Justin Herbert of a guy we thought was a good quarterback in the league, but just there were no accolades, no moments, no nothing. Because I'm looking at Matt Stafford's NFL career. Up until his time with the Rams, it was forgettable. We all thought he was a good quarterback. Number 1 overall pick in the draft, Georgia through to Calvin Johnson. They weren't winning playoff games in Detroit with Marty Morningwig, Steve Mariucci, and whoever he was, Jim Caldwell. They weren't doing it. And he wasn't putting up any statistical greatness. He had good seasons, don't get me wrong, but they had 2 winning seasons in his first 6. Is it possible that Justin Herbert is just Detroit Matt Stafford?
Yeah, that's possible, but I don't know if anybody.
Which is not a ringing endorsement, by the way.
I'm with you, but I also don't think anybody looks at the Chargers as hopeless as the Lions were. I don't care how old you are. The Lions have never been good in your life, ever. That's not how we view the Chargers. I don't like the Phillip Rivers comparisons. I understand why people make the Phillip Rivers comparisons and why they throw it out there. I get it. I feel like now we have kind of undersold how good, healthy, in his prime Phillip Rivers was. I do think we've kind of oversold it now of how good, at 27, 28 years old, Rivers was a dog at that point. Yes, they didn't win a championship. I understand, but I can't let you guys now compare him to him. Not when he doesn't have a playoff win. He's got to win a playoff game before we start having these conversations.
Also, I can't believe I'm the Phillip Rivers defender, but here we sit. Phillip Rivers played in an AFC title game at one point. Phillip Rivers had the Chargers with Marty Schottenheimer at 15-1 or maybe 14-2, and they were the 1 seed and led at home against the Patriots. I know they lose the game, but I think fans get a little revisionist history of Philip Rivers because he never got over the hump. But he had a better 7 years than Justin Herbert has as far as accolades, notes, all the things. And he got started late because of Drew Brees.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I understand why people make the comparison, right? He plays for I genuinely think that he is the least accomplished great quarterback that we've seen. He hasn't done anything. Like, there's really no other way to put it. He does not have any accomplishments in his NFL career. I think that's a little bit different than Rivers. I really do think now we kind of make Rivers worse than I think he really was during his prime. I think Rivers was very, very good during his prime. Now, yeah, at the end it was a little different, but yeah, there was a window there where Rivers was a very, very good quarterback. The Chargers were right there knocking at the door, and they couldn't walk through it. There's really no other way to put it.
And the time you're referring to Rivers being great is obviously his time in Indianapolis at the end there, right? Like last season when he was just out there slinging the ball. That's one of the crazier things we don't talk about enough. Philip Rivers played football last year. Like, I sometimes forget that.
For sure.
He was coaching high school football in Alabama and then played last year for the Colts. Like, it's just a weird little quirk of his career.
Yeah, someone says, I don't know what you're talking about. I never thought Rivers was a dog. I thought Rivers was a crybaby. Oh, he was both. You can be a dog and be a crybaby for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, Rivers in his prime, Rivers was a very, very good quarterback. Consistently top 10. Rivers was very, very good during his prime. Also annoying, no question about it. Very annoying. Like, if I really thought about it, we could find some guys that we all think they're dogs, also some crybabies, for sure.
I think Chiefs fans are quick to run down Philip Rivers because they really hated Philip Rivers because of all the crying and all the whining. And basically up until the Patrick Mahomes era, Philip Rivers kind of beat the Chiefs a lot. It was pretty one-sided for a while. It was not a man back and forth. Let's see what it can. Philip Rivers was handling those Herm Edwards and teams and late stage Todd Haley teams. So I think that's why Chiefs fans really look back at Philip Rivers and view him as some sort of horrible failures because they hated him as a player.
Yeah, I mean, some of these, I don't want to just spend all day like shooting these down, but just like comparing Justin Herbert to Dan Marino is just off to me. It's just off to me. I just feel like we get in this mode, and I understand it, where if you haven't won a championship, kind of like if you're like a middle tier quarterback, for about 10 years, we just called you Alex Smith. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter if you were right-handed, left-handed, big, small. If you weren't a top 10 guy, we just thought like, no, hold on. How is Philip Rivers, Dak Prescott, and Matt Ryan? They all remind you of Alex Smith? No. I just feel like now if you don't have a championship, you're the Philip Rivers or Dan Marino's. There's other guys with no championships. Like there's other quarterbacks out there. We got to free ourselves from that.
The funny thing about the Alex Smith one is that one, we made that comparison. It crossed racial divide. Usually we only compare to other white or black quarterbacks. With Alex Smith, remember Dak Prescott was Alex Smith, but also Kirk Cousins was Alex Smith. Everyone was Alex Smith. There was an Alex Smith Palooza.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a stretch there where that was the only person that people could be. That was it. It was the only person that it could be. All right, coming up in a little bit, Daniel Sperry is going to join us on the show. We're going to talk a little World Cup. We're going to talk a little soccer here. We have been celebrating the World Cup here in Kansas City. It has been a lot of fun. We are all sitting around waiting to see where LeBron could potentially land. Speaking of somebody who is a dog and also possibly a crybaby, I mean, I love LeBron, but he does do a lot of complaining. Someone said Luka also fits that. Luka, absolutely. 1,000. Caitlin Clark might be one of those individuals. No doubt. Caitlin Clark, dog, she can hoop. Why is Caitlin Clark playing? She does a lot of complaining on the court. So, yes, you can be a dog and also a crybaby. No, those two things are not mutually exclusive. Let's go to the phone lines right now. I have my guests mixed up. I apologize. Eric Graves joins us on the show. He's with Channel 9 News, joining us to celebrate the World Cup. Eric, how you doing, my man?
Hey, what's going on, Carrington? I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm giving Kansas City an A+ for how they've handled the World Cup. Do you agree? Or are you also giving them an A+?
I think that's a pretty good. I think, just for the fact that I'm probably going to talk to some people for my job over the next week or so that didn't have their favorite experience, I'll do an A. How about that?
Yeah, I just think, and I guess for me, my point with all of this is just that, coming into it, there were a lot of concerns. You work in the news. People were worried about how many people were coming and the flights and all of these things. Like, there were so many worries about it. But I think
city being too crowded, transportation falling apart, there were plenty of concerns that were valid.
For sure. And then once we got past that first game and there were the complaints about the shuttle, a lot of those seem to be very fair. The last 5 games to me seem to really go off without a hitch.
Smooth, very smooth. I talked to a couple people about that today. We're doing a story kind of wrapping it up today and about how they made those adjustments after the first match. And that was the big complaint. And outside of that, you did not have anybody who was coming here for those matches who really had too much, if anything, to complain about from the beginning to the end, unless it was the weather in Kansas City, which we can't do anything about.
Right now, we're talking to Eric Graves, just getting his thoughts on the World Cup as it is wrapping up in Kansas City. 10, 20 years from now, whenever somebody asks you about the World Cup and what your favorite memory is, what are you going to tell them?
Oh, that's hard. For me, I did not make it out to any of the matches, and I think that's kind of something that's shared with a majority of the people in Kansas City. So I think that's kind of going to be the big perspective that I think a lot of the community is going to share, because the matches were expensive, so not everybody could make it out. But when you have events like FanFest, it kind of did help to bring the World Cup and the excitement around it to the people who could not make it to those matches. And so, I was at FanFest on Saturday, the last day it was open, and we're taking the streetcar there. The line to get into FanFest isn't moving because it had hit capacity. There were 25,000 people in there for that All-American Rejects concert before that match between England and Norway, which, of course, was a match people wanted to watch. People start filing out. People start coming in, and I'm sitting on a blanket in the middle of that lawn watching with all of these other people who I don't know at all, but for some reason we're all cheering for 2 soccer teams that for a lot of the people in Kansas City, they didn't really know anything about a month ago, so just that ability for it to bring everybody together in such a cool way, in such a positive way, and in such a cool part of the city. The Liberty Memorial, World War I monument and museum right there is such a cool, almost underutilized part of the city, and the way it's been used for the past month at FanFest has been so cool, and I think people have really enjoyed it.
We just had the mayor on earlier today, and we asked him about the heart and where he thinks it should go.
Yeah.
Where do you think it should go?
I had that same conversation with the mayor about 3 hours ago now, and I know what his answer is. I think it's an interesting question because you want to put it in a place where it fits. You don't want to put it in a place where it sticks out. You want to make it a place where it makes sense, which I think is an interesting question. I think the riverfront I've heard is an interesting answer. I think what the mayor probably told you is right where it is right there. I think that's a good spot for it. I love how it lines up with the memorial right there. It's been my favorite picture to take. It is taking it right in front of the heart where it puts the memorial right in the center of it. I think that's great. The idea of including it maybe in the future of a ballpark down there potentially is good too. So I'm excited they're keeping it. I'm interested to see what changes have to be made to make something that was never meant to be permanent. So I'm definitely excited for the future of that heart. And to wherever it ends up in Kansas City, the mayor, when I was talking to him today, compared it to the shuttlecocks almost as an interesting art piece in KC. And I think that is kind of the category it fits in, as interesting art around KC.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with it just staying where it is. I understand that it has to be made a little bit more secure, but I think it's a perfect backdrop for it. And I also think, it's a really cool monument of, eventually we're going to tell the story. Hey, why is this here? Oh, Kansas City hosted the World Cup. It just feels like a very perfect statue to commemorate that.
Commemorate that, but also kind of talk about the brand Kansas City's been building. I would tell you half the people in this city have one of those heart shirts in their closet. We've talked about this heart being a symbol of Kansas City for so long, but Kansas City hasn't really had its own big heart to display in a lot of ways. They do the Parade of Hearts where you see all the hearts across the city, but one huge one that's there year-round, I think that's an interesting symbol for the city and a good one to have.
Right now, we're talking to Eric Graves here, just getting his thoughts on the World Cup and the memories. So I made this point earlier. I think the 2 kind of lasting stories people are going to tell is going to be the Messi hat trick in the first game and also that orange march. Everybody's seen the picture from the first Royals parade and just the view of it. Obviously, it's not going to look like that. But that shot where you can see that long trail of orange in downtown Kansas City, that you're going to see that on a lot of people's office walls over the next, however many years.
you're going to see that on people's walls forever. You know, you're going to see people's pictures from it. They're going to have, you know, pictures of it in their homes. I already have a picture of it. We've got one of those aura frames that scrolls through, and we've got like 20 pictures added to it of us at the Orange March. You know, we've got a Netherlands flag that's in one of our plants at home now. Like, there's going to be more orange in people's houses around Kansas City as little mementos of that march, and just the mass of it is cool to think about. You know, we had the chopper up there, and just seeing it from above and that huge line of orange that just extends. It's a really cool thing, and something it's not going to be common in Kansas City to do things like that. So it's a cool part of all that. And the Messi hat trick, I think, is so significant for Arrowhead Stadium, because we are going to talk about, sooner rather than later, the end of that stadium in terms of it hosting Chiefs games. And when we talk about Arrowhead and its history, a part of that will be arguably the greatest soccer player of all time, defying Father Time, and what could be the beginning of his run at a second back-to-back World Cup and scoring a hat trick. That is an incredible chapter near the end of Arrowhead's life, not to mention it's had, some of the most positive press in the world for a 50-plus-year-old stadium that is years away from getting replaced.
That is Eric Graves joining us on the show today to commemorate the World Cup as it is winding down. It is officially left Kansas City. Eric, great stuff, my man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
Appreciate you, C-Dot. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. That is Eric Graves joining us on the show. Rob, I actually think this is going to sound crazy. I think the lasting takeaway from the World Cup is going to be the streetcar. If you had any questions on the streetcar and if it works or not, it works. It absolutely works. With the expansion now, using it to get to a current game and all of the planned expansion that they have coming down there, like all of the expansion, it also works. Like, this entire experience, if you had worry or concern about a downtown baseball stadium, I just don't know how you can be downtown over the course of the last 4 weeks and now think that Kansas City can't handle a downtown baseball stadium. People from all over seem to be figuring out ways to get around just fine. There was enough parking. There was enough everything for everybody. So I understand that it's just locals now. All the tourists are gone, and we're going to ask all of these questions. If Kansas City was big enough to host all of these things for the World Cup, Union Station and the Liberty Memorial and people coming and going, if we did all that with no problem, we don't think that Kansas City can do a Tuesday baseball game? Like, what are we doing here? Like, to me, I actually think if you're talking 5 years from now, what is going to be that? I think it's going to be that people in Kansas City now see the streetcar as a very viable way of getting around. Now, obviously, you got to drive to downtown, but I don't think people have a problem driving somewhere downtown, parking there, getting on the streetcar, and the streetcar will drop you off right in front of the stadium. You walk to the game, and then you can leave when you want, and it's free. That's going to be the real takeaway.
I actually think we're in the same boat here. I think you're going to see massive streetcar expansion in the next 5-10 years as a part of that. I think you're going to see the building of an east-west streetcar that has stops going east and west from, Union Station to like 18th and Vine type of thing. I think you might see the streetcar continue to expand south. Maybe, I don't know all the streets perfectly, but maybe into like a Brookside, Waldo, really keep moving that direction. I think you're right. If there's one thing that it's shown, the streetcar is viable, and it's time to make the streetcar connect across the city more and more and more. It was great when it went from, basically the highway to Union Station, but now it's going all the way from, Riverfront all the way up to the plaza. It's going to keep growing and expanding, and I think you're going to see more and more streetcar line and more streetcars because of the World Cup.
No, for sure. And obviously, there's more questions about the parking and how is it going to fit and where's it going to go. And yeah, we'll continue to get those answers over time. But I do feel very strong. If you were worried about how Kansas City could handle a downtown stadium, I don't know how you could have gone downtown and seen the amount of people coming and going and now have a worry about a Wednesday baseball game and how Kansas City can do it. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for how we adapt. Remember, this is everyone's worry about the new airport. Oh, it's so convenient. The new airport's fine. It's just as convenient as the other one. Remember, that was the big thing. Oh, you can just get dropped off in the front and yeah, you can still do that too. I just think we as a city, and I understand it, like change, it's new, it's different, it's slow. I'm on your side. I live here too, but we will figure out a way to get to the baseball stadium the same way you figured out how to get there for the All-American Rejects, the same way you figured it out to go see Flow Rider or Tech 9. We figured it out, and everybody seemed to be very happy with it. And that was, 25,000 people could have at one time? That's 8,000 more than what the average Royals game is. I feel like anytime we have these conversations, we make it seem like every Royals game is sold out. Like, oh, stop it. Come on now. Yes, I really do think that could be the takeaway. All right, we're going to keep talking World Cup. We'll keep bouncing back and forth between that and football. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used the trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay Steak inside Harrah's Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What to do today? There's boating, fishing.
At Jackson County Parks Plus Rec,
sailing, skiing, picnicking.
there are countless ways to make your day.
Canoeing, hiking, biking.
And you just
swimming.
found your spot right here.
Camping. Yeah, camping. I'll camp at Lake Jacomo or Longview Lake or maybe Blue Springs Lake. Hit the beach at Longview Lake. Oh, they're all so close to
Jackson County Parks Plus Rec. Miles of smiles, minutes away. Learn more at makeyourdayhere.com.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Conservative, family man, author of The Bald Plan to Reduce Property Taxes. Listen to Scott Schwab.
Property taxes are killing Kansans, but one day it hit me. Bald.
BALD stands for Better Affordable Living by Decreasing Property Taxes. And it's the only detailed plan. Schwab's BALD plan means voter approval for property tax hikes, refunds for unfair assessments, and tax relief for seniors and working families. Listen to Scott Schwab.
I focus on reducing taxes for Kansans. You should keep more. My BALD plan makes sure of it. When I'm governor, we'll get it done.
Finally, a governor with a good head on his shoulders. Author of the BALD Plan to Decrease Property Taxes. Conservative Republican Scott Schwab for governor. Visit scottschwab.com/bald to learn more. Paid for by Schwab for Governor, Jim Felter, Treasurer.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us.
I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on.
And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today, and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Bet365 presents Odyssey Sports Midsummer Baseball Showcase Special from Philadelphia, Monday, July 13th, starting at 9 o'clock. Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
North KC, that's a stall 35 northbound as you approach front. Everything is happening off to the right shoulder, so scoot to the left through here. Overland Park, that's a stall off to the right shoulder. Onlooker delay, 35 northbound at 87th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I know that you guys can't get into it. I love the NBA. I love the athleticism. I love the shot making. I love the competition. Like, when it's good, it's good. I love the drama. I love the mess. I really do. It's an incredible reality show. So I don't know if you heard about this or not, Rob, but Bam Adebayo smacked Tyler Hero. Just smacked him. Tyler Hero got traded. They were on the same team. They played for the Miami Heat. Tyler Hero got traded to Milwaukee. Tyler Hero was on Instagram. He was messaging somebody else. That person then screenshotted the messages and then posted them on the internet. Bam Adebayo in Las Vegas, Summer League. His girlfriend also plays for the Las Vegas Aces. They had 2 games over the weekend. I went to one of them. Rob, the Mercury got beat by 53 points. I've never left the game so fast in my life. Was not there for very long. I saw what I needed to see. So Bam Adebayo goes up and he smacks Tyler Hero. Now, I'm not here to tell you that violence is the answer. And I agree that there are better ways, especially at our big age, at solving conflicts. I don't want to make it seem like I just run around getting into physical conflicts. No, of course not. We're too big, we're too grown, we're too old to be out here tussling and wrestling with each other. But for all the conversations about the internet and the good and the bad of the internet, I would say the 2 worst things that the internet have done for us is, number one, there is an expectation that the things on the internet should be free. That music should be free. That movies should be free. That reading articles should be free. We were perfectly fine with paying for newspapers for 80 years. And then the internet came around, and now it's, wait, you want $1 for me to read this story? Yes, someone had to write it. They had to do the work. They had to do the time. I pay for a newspaper subscription because I think that stuff matters. That's one side. is the expectation that whatever's on the internet should all be free. Any content, any information that someone had to work and put together, you should get it for free. The other thing that we've done is we have made people feel like there should be no consequences for some of the crazy things you say online. So I am not pro-violence, but I am all for, hey, you're not just going to keep talking crazy to me on the internet. Because in some situations, yes, you can say whatever you want on the internet and there is no penalty. But sometimes you say something on the internet and now you got to run up against the person that you were saying that stuff about. And everybody is just not a ha, 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 Twitter's not a real place, ha, 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 it was just jokes. No, some people take that stuff seriously. And what you say on the internet and what you say on the computer can have a real consequence. We see people losing their jobs because of things that they say online, things that they do online. Sometimes it might not be that bad. You might just get smacked. That's what Tyler Hero did. I don't think he's in any serious physical harm or physical danger. But Rob, the way the story sounds to me is Bam pulled up where he knew Tyler Hero was going to be. They got into a physical altercation and Bam Adebayo struck Tyler Hero. That's my understanding of their situation. And it seems like it was largely stemming from Tyler Hero on IG had a lot to say about Bam's game and maybe he shouldn't have been traded and why was this person out on the trade deadline. And if this is somebody that you know, somebody that could just have that conversation with you, you don't have to talk to a stranger about it. You got my number. We're brothers. We were on the team for 8 years together. We could have had this conversation, or this is how you've always felt, but now you feel comfortable saying that because we're not on the same team. He saw it and addressed it. Mano a mano, man to man. I'm honestly not mad at that.
Listen, I'm not team violence just because people said mean things about you. I think that goes without saying. But if you're going to say the things, when you see the person, you can't be surprised if things take a left turn. I also think this is not the point of the story. Whoever was screenshotting Tyler Hero's private DMs and putting them out there for Bam to see also is icky work, in my opinion. Like, Tyler Hero's having a private conversation with someone. He doesn't think Bam Adebayo is going to see this, and then Bam did and led to a physical altercation. But you said it perfectly at the top of the segment. The NBA is just a messy drama at all times, and it's actually very enjoyable to watch. I would argue the NBA offseason might be better than the NBA's first 6 months of the actual basketball season at times because it's more fun to talk about.
Yeah, I guess I genuinely feel that the internet would be a much better place. I think it would be a safer place if people felt like there were real consequences. Like, I think in some ways we have incentivized people to anonymously say things. And it's always under the guise of, oh, it's not real. Oh, it's not real. Oh, it's just jokes. Like, no, everybody doesn't play that way. Like, I think that's the message. Like, in person, you know, hey, if you start talking crazy to the guy at the bar, you just don't know how that guy at the bar is going to react. You don't know what his response is going to be. You have absolutely no clue. So you should just probably mind your business, watch your mouth, or don't cross certain lines. We lost that ability on the internet a long time ago. There's a lot of line crossing on the internet that I think we all know in person. If you cross certain lines or say certain things as men, it could turn a different way. And Tyler Hero had to find that out the hard way in Las Vegas when Bam Adebayo played the bongos on his face. I bet you he won't talk like that again on the internet, not about Bam Adebayo.
I mean, we literally have a term for people who are Twitter, like just hang out on Twitter and say mean stuff. They're either A, Twitter tough, or keyboard warriors. The fact that we have a term for this means it's happening far too often societally.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just, you know what? I just try to talk to people how I would want them to talk to me. And I just try not to say things that I don't feel comfortable saying. I don't want to fight. I don't want to rumble with anybody. What are we even fighting about? There's got to be something serious for me to want to fight at this stage in my life. What are we about to rumble for?
It is also nice. I mean, listen, this is an old man take. The NBA is very chummy. Everyone's best friends with everyone. It's nice to see a little beef between. Listen, the Bucks and Heat aren't going to be a rivalry anytime soon, but it is nice to see a little drama and some beef in the league as opposed to everyone dapping each other up and being besties after the game.
Yeah, I love it. I'm telling you, I love the drama of the NBA. I really do. I love it. We're trading Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. We got former teammates fighting each other. You saw Udonis Haslem and Draymond Green are now arguing about it. It's the best. I know that you guys don't love it, but I'm telling you. Love Island might be the number 1 reality show. The NBA offseason, number 2, strong reality show. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll keep celebrating the World Cup in Kansas City. It is now gone. Take care. Keep it here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
North KC, that's a stall 35 northbound as you approach front. Everything is happening off to the right shoulder, so scoot to the left through here. Overland Park, that's a stall off to the right shoulder. Onlooker delay, 35 northbound at 87th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You know that weird smell your AC makes when you turn it on? Ooh, you really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Even on weekends and holidays, Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric shows up. Expect reliable HVAC plumbing or electric service. Plus, enjoy $500 off a new HVAC system this summer. Schedule your free consultation at anthonyphce.com.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help. And help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
The Outlaws are rolling in and they're bringing the thunder. Get ready for the Show Me Shootout Truck and Tractor Pull. Saturday, July 18th at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Feel the power as 11 elite classes rip down 2 tracks with 10,000-pound pro stock tractors going head-to-head for total dominance. Gates open at 4, engines fire at 7. Tickets just $25 at the gate. Don't miss the dirt-flying, horsepower-packed Show Me Shootout in Warrensburg. Get details now on Facebook. Search Show Me Shootout Warrensburg, Missouri.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for 35 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years. And I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
Yeah.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
Kansas City is buzzing this summer, and the excitement keeps rolling into August at the Advent Health Championship, Kansas City's only professional golf tournament, August 20th through 23rd at Blue Hills Country Club. Watch the next generation of PGA Tour stars compete for their shot at the big stage. Follow your favorite player, enjoy the action from greenside, or upgrade to an all-inclusive hospitality experience. With tickets starting at just $10, there's something for everyone. Keep your summer going. Get your tickets today at AdventHealthChampionship.com. Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in Casey and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
This is Michael Waka from the Kansas City Royals, and you're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by one of my favorite people in media. Harold Kuntz joins us on the show. He does fantastic work for Fox 4, and we are celebrating the end of the World Cup in Kansas City. Harold, let me ask you this. I've never asked you this before. I want to know if you consider you and I to be coworkers, because technically we don't work together, but I feel like we work together.
So wait, you do the morning shows on Red Fridays,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken. You've done other things. There's been contributions back and forth. I mean, we may not be getting the same paycheck for the same employer, but like by association, yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering. I just didn't know. I just wanted to get your official verdict. I just wanted to know what you think. I appreciate you. I hope you know that. I want to get your thoughts because you went to a lot of these World Cup games. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you're sitting there and you're reminiscing on the World Cup in Kansas City, what's going to be the story that comes to your mind first?
Well, first off, it's interesting you said 5 years and 10 years from now, because in 5 years from now, we could be doing this all over again, except with the Women's World Cup. So keep that in mind. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, you can go through each game was like a memory. Seeing a Messi hat trick, seeing an Orange walk downtown, seeing Fan Fest, seeing the big heart, that might be a big legacy thing too. If they, not only decide to keep it, but where they place it, that could be a big legacy thing too. Because I think other cities have done that in the past. Notably, Atlanta kept the Olympic flame in Centennial Olympic Park. I think Kansas City should do something similar with that big red heart they've got at Fan Fest. But just the memories, the glee around town, the dancing, the different cultures. Other cultures, meeting other cultures, seeing, Curacao fans, there's so many to name. I think we look back at this 5-10 years from now, not only are we thinking, hey, we might be able to do this again as a city in Kansas City, but also just like, hey, this was a fun time. This was a fun summer. It was a good summer. Like it was this, like, think about the alternative we could have had this summer if the World Cup was not going on this summer. Like, it could have been bad. Just it could have been real bad. So it was fun. It was fun for sure.
I mean, it definitely could have been really bad. I mean, this saved us in a lot of ways. Like,
yes. It did. Yeah,
it absolutely saved us. Like, if you're telling me that we had to spend the last 45 days or so talking about the Royals and what they were going to do at the trade deadline, I don't know how I would have managed it. I don't know how I would have got through it.
Well, not only that, the hypotheticals of what's coming up in St. Joe, which crazy enough, next Friday is when they arrived. So like we had no rest. And then obviously we would have had our local domestic soccer teams here, which at the time we were going into the World Cup, they were closer near to the bottom. So it's been it would have been a struggle. It would have been true.
No, it absolutely would have been a struggle. I said that I think the two lasting images from the World Cup are going to be this. Messi getting that hat trick is like watching Tiger Woods back in 1998. That was like watching Michael Jordan in his absolute prime. Like whatever the best is, that was seeing them at their absolute peak. That's one of those moments. I also think the Orange March is going to be that. I've never experienced something like that before. Like it's really hard to explain to somebody that wasn't there, but it had a lot of the same energy of a Chiefs parade, but like you were the parade, like you were in it. It was such a different energy, very different atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, I'll almost remember that more than I will the stuff on the pitch, especially the orange, the orange walk and everything that went involved with that. Just seeing the Colombian fans, the Bomboneros, like they were at Mill Creek Park. I mean, we missed. Colombia obviously lost to Switzerland, but we missed what would have been an all-timer if we had Colombian fans and Argentinian fans in the city at the same time. We missed an all-timer, and that's with all due respect to Switzerland fans, but they would not have matched this. We would have had a very college football bowl-like situation this past Saturday with a bunch of yellow and a bunch of blue and white. We missed that, but to be honest with you, the fan stuff is going to be memorable. I mean, let's not forget, Messi's now played in Kansas City 4 times now, I believe. You count his Inter Miami work. So it's like we have seen greatness on that field before, maybe not at that level, at that apex of that situation, obviously with the hat trick against Algeria, and then you see kind of the new of Argentina kind of move on as it's progressed. As you can tell, like we played a lot of minutes. We're tired. It's hot outside. Julian Alvarez, give me one of the top 3-5 goals of the tournament easily. So yeah, the pitch has been a bunch of memorable stuff, but outside, those are scenes we're just not going to see again, unless, of course, it comes back here again, which I hope it does.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, and I know one of the men's World Cup is a long way down the line. Like Kansas City getting the women's World Cup to me now feels like it's absolutely 100%. Like I don't know how you could see what Kansas City just did, know that Kansas City has a stadium that is dedicated to women's sports, and then not give Kansas City something to do when it comes to the Women's World Cup. Now, the Men's World Cup, we got, a decade until we start having that conversation. I now feel 100% that the Women's World Cup is coming.
Yeah, and it'll provide the same energy. I believe this city is capable of providing the same energy it would for a Women's World Cup as it would have with the Men's World Cup, just because of the history of the history that's in place, and the history that's still being made by women's soccer here in Kansas City. So, yeah, I believe that the Longs are trying to, obviously they have plans to expand the stadium. There's still got to be some paperwork and everything and procedures that go with that, but that's the plan. And I mean, what happens if, let's say the U.S. women's team decides to train here in Kansas City? Let's say when the new stadium is finally built, let's say they try to get a semifinal there. And there's precedent too, because if you look at some of the previous Women's World Cups, they aren't in for instance, the one in France. It wasn't in Paris. It was in Lyon. There's precedent to put it in the city that's okay, they're going to care about it more than the big cities like New York, Chicago, L.A. And I think that's what we learned about the Men's World Cup too, because everybody didn't really know about Kansas City, at least from an international perspective. They may have known about the Chiefs. They may have known about barbecue. They didn't know about Kansas City. And they've come here and they're like, hey, does it benefit us to be in a city where they're going to put their heart and soul into it, as opposed to someplace where New York's competing with the Knicks championship run? They're competing with 3 Jay-Z concerts at Yankee Stadium, or LA's competing with everything that goes along with Hollywood. Here, it was you could tell there is a centralized effect to be this is going to be big for us. This is big momentum. And I think Atlanta is the only city that I think is compared in terms of the real want to and the desire to have everyone happy about the World Cup and have their citizens that live here be happy about it too, and put their name out there. And I think both of those cities have done a good job. Kansas City right there with Atlanta at the top of the list.
Right now, we're talking to our guy Harold Kuntz here for a few more minutes, just getting his thoughts on the World Cup as we are wrapping up in Kansas City. We had this conversation just a little bit ago, so I'm curious to get your thoughts as somebody who's been down there taking the streetcar. I feel like this was really a test study, a case study for the streetcar and downtown parking and getting around and mobility. That I'm sure over the course of the next 4 years, everybody's going to ask the same question for the downtown stadium. Where are you going to park? Where are you going to park? If we could figure it out for FanFest, then I feel very confident we can figure it out for Tuesday Royals and A's.
Well, I mean, I could just win you over with numbers. I mean, FanFest was at capacity for their last day. It was 25,000 people. And, you and I both know that Royals games don't pass 25,000 on a weekday game almost at all. Now, this could change if the team becomes, a World Series contender. We can always imagine. But if they become a World Series contender consistently, then maybe it'll reach above 25,000 capacity on a normal basis. But for right now, I mean, the numbers are what the numbers are. I mean, the day game on a Tuesday or Wednesday is barely cracking it might crack 10,000. And, during the night, if you got your typical, like I like to call it Tuesday series against the Detroit Tigers, it's not cracking 20,000. So it's, the test run is in the numbers. They get there. Now, the ingress, egress of people getting into the stadium, walking over there, that's another thing. But I think we figured out pretty quickly that if you really want to get to something downtown, you're going to get there. And the streetcar I think there's a lot of people that I had talked to that took the streetcar really for the first time on a regular basis to get the places during this. And I think now they know, like, hey, this is cool now. I mean, one day, and I know you talked to the mayor earlier, or at least was scheduled to, maybe one day they start thinking about the east-west line. Maybe Kansas gets involved, whatever, so they can expand this thing, and it makes it beneficial for everybody involved. But I'm sure that's a long, long time away. But if they do that, I mean, it's beneficial. And then you get a generation of people that figure out, okay, this is the way to go. This is the better way to go. And then it just starts building and building and building. And then you build from there. Maybe you have more streetcars to take, maybe whatever. So I think it was a good plan, but just numbers alone, with the capacity of FanFest of 25,000, I think with a downtown baseball park, that was a great test run. And I think they should be more confident going forward about it.
You know what, Harold? We should just do baby steps, and why don't we just focus on getting the streetcar to go east and west? Like, I don't mind north and south right now.
So. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, let's just focus on east and west. Like, let's just take what we already have, the infrastructure. Let's have it go east and west, and then we can start having some more conversations. But I do think that, like, the expansion of it seems inevitable. Like, just like in the very beginning, like, it was always too short of a path. It was always going to go further than what it was. Now the next expansion is it going east and west.
Yeah, and let's not forget the Connect KC that we had with the buses at different stops at the North Kansas City of the world, the Liberties of the world, the airport, Overland Park, whatever. Maybe we start seeing some of those come more often, especially if they're about to, build a new stadium out in KCK. You don't want everybody's route to get to KCK be just 70 and maybe K10 or something of that nature. Like, you want it to be, you want to have some different ways of getting there. And I think that's a way we learned. And I know you guys mentioned at the top of the show about with the first game and how that was kind of, they need to make some changes after that first match with Argentina and Algeria. And they did make the changes. Well, at least with here are the changes, you're dealing with locals. And you're dealing with a parking lot that's not going to be 3/4 blocked off either. So there's definitely a line where they can do that. And, I mean, I agree with you, getting east-west, that's the start of it. But, we've got years. I mean, this is, the old saying is Rome wasn't built in a day. And Kansas City is building into what it wants to be, the best version of itself. And, that does take a little time. So they're moving in the right direction. But they know they can handle things like this. They know they can handle what's going to eventually be a Final Four to probably a Super Bowl, God knows when, and maybe 8, 10 years, 11 years from now. So things are happening. And now you got to build to those next steps. And that's the next goal for KC here.
I'll get you out of this with this last one, Harold. I know you're a big Eagles fan. Did you see that Jalen Hurts was 17th on that NFL quarterbacks thing? A lot of disrespect for Jalen Hurts.
Oh boy, how do I answer this question? That you put me in a bind.
17th?
You put me in a bind. You know what I want to say.
Say it.
But he got a ring. Shut up. There's my answer. Where was Sam Darnold on that list, by the way?
Sam Darnold was 11th on the list. So the honorable mention.
All right, geez Louise, come on.
So
what are we doing?
Darnold was 11th. Jaden Daniels was 12th. Jordan Love was 13. Brock Purdy 14. Baker 15. Trevor Lawrence 16. Jalen Hurts, a 17th best quarterback in the National Football League, and then Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, and C.J. Stroud. That rounds out the top 20.
Jeez. Wait, C.J. Stroud made the top 20? You know what? This is why hypothetical season. This is why the World Cup happened, Carrington, because we would have been dealing with these hypotheticals, and this would have been a week of your programming. And now, at least the first 3 days of it, you'd be like, hey, the World Cup was awesome. It was amazing. And now I'm looking forward to your solid soccer analysis of France versus Spain and England versus Argentina, and then, of course, the World Cup final. I'm waiting for the solid soccer analysis on this instead of these hypotheticals about quarterbacks.
Well, you know what, Harold? I want to encourage everybody to follow the World Cup with you on Fox 4. How about that?
You know, that's a quid pro quo right there. I like that.
That's my guy, Harold Kuntz, joining us on the show today. Thanks, Harold. I appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. Anytime.
Absolutely. That's Harold Kuntz joining us on the show. You know what? I love a good hypothetical argument. We'll get back to this quarterback list. Rob, there's 16 quarterbacks in the league better than Jalen Hurts, and I want to read to you guys what they said about Patrick Mahomes, and I don't know. There's a lot of truth in this. We'll get to it. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Baseball season is in full swing, and you can trade every game over on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you trade every game, futures, and even the all-star events. For instance, maybe you're thinking about, I want to figure out who's going to take home the trophy. Maybe you like Milwaukee to do so. A $100 trade over on Kalshi right now could net you a $1,068 payout. Those are the kind of things you can do over there on Kalshi, because over there you're trading against a person in a live market, meaning there is no house, and the probability changes. You can buy in and out of your position depending on what position of yours you like. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, visit kalshi.com/regular.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the seventh inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
we'll be back after this.
It's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hi, I'm Michaela, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You found your dream engagement ring. As a jewelry consultant, I recommend to start shopping for your wedding band 6 months before your big day. Don't worry. At Shane Company, we're here to help you find the perfect bands. Our men's and women's bands are crafted to high-quality standards, and it shows in every detail, with a stylish design and comfortable fit. At Shane Company, we'll take care of your engagement ring and wedding bands for life, because a friend wants you to say, I do, to your rings again and again. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMoseandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Son.
Putting off fixing electrical problems in your home can be a real hazard. Visit CMMoseandSon.com to take care of your electrical problems today. CM Mose & Son. License 202058.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We're going to stall on 35. It's southbound just past 75th. Right lane is blocked. Northbound 35 at 87th. That's a stall. So that area right there, very heavy both directions. Okay, 435 southbound up at Leavenworth. Left lane is blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. If you missed it, we got a chance to catch up with the mayor of Kansas City. We'll get to that. Rob, I feel like it's become kind of customary where I always give like a big life update on the first day of the All-Star break. We'll do that. I always just let you know where I'm at, where I'm feeling, how I feel about the show in general. We'll do that coming up at 5 o'clock. That's how we'll spend the 5 o'clock hour. I am very much looking forward to it. So today, ESPN put out a list. They talked to over 70 executives in the National Football League. So coaches, scouts, executives, football people. Patrick Mahomes was the second-ranked quarterback on the list. For the last 3 years, he has been number one. Josh Allen has now passed him. Now, there were some very interesting quotes in this thing about the Chiefs quarterback. Quote, Mahomes still puts fear in people like no other quarterback in the league. He gives you a shot to win in every game. His skill set combined with his will to win, it puts him at the top of the list. It then goes on and says, quote, I think the hits were taking a toll even before the injury. He's not the biggest guy, but he's such a stud. He's also taken a lot of violent hits. The big-time shots, they are a thing. Now, there is one more quote that I want to read to you guys about Patrick Mahomes, but I thought this part was really interesting. In this story, It said, quote, if Mahomes wasn't on the team, that was a 3-win team last year. Now, it gets into why people felt the way that they felt, but I think the 3 wins is maybe a little bit hyperbole. I do think last year the Chiefs forgot about the main thing. And I think that because they've had so much success, I think they got a little bit stale in almost every single asset. We got Mahomes. Everything is great. We're going to continue to keep running it back. And I think they needed something new. I think they needed a little bit of flavor. That team looked tired. They looked tired physically. They looked tired emotionally. They looked tired creatively last year. So I will be very curious to see how the Chiefs come out. This is going to be a different offense. Kenneth Walker is going to be a significant part of their offense. You don't go out and you spend the amount of money that they did at running back to not emphasize him. So I know the argument's going to be, well, Andy doesn't run the football. You don't give out a top 5 salary at running back to then not use him. They're going to use Kenneth Walker. They are going to use him a lot. And I do think that he can just breathe some fresh air into it. But I do also feel that about the injury. I don't think anyone can say that you saw it coming. But that last month with Mahomes, he was getting beat up. And even in that game, I felt like he was just getting beat up, and you were just holding, you were watching the game holding your breath. You were watching the game crossing your fingers, hoping that everything was going to be okay and that he was going to survive. And obviously that's not what happened.
That quote by I don't know if it's an anonymous scout, executive, whomever, about the Chiefs being a 3-win team last year kind of explains why me and you view the team for 2026 differently, because I don't know why I fully agree with the person who said the quote. Don't get me wrong. I think the Chiefs are probably better than 3 wins without Patrick Mahomes last year. But I do feel like they were really bad last year with him, and without him, it would have been woof. Which is why I'm, closer to them being a 9, 10, 11 win type of team in 2026, because I don't think you can overhaul the roster and fix all the problems they had in one offseason. It takes time. So I don't think I'm fully on the boat with the anonymous person quote, but I do think I'm closer to that than most. I think last year's Chiefs had a lot of issues and were bad, and I think they've fixed some of those issues, but a lot of those issues still exist, and I don't know this team is ready to compete for a Super Bowl again. But 3 wins without Mahomes seems like harsh, but I don't know it's the harshest, most incorrect thing, I guess.
Yeah, I can't tell you that you were wrong. I mean, they had 6 wins with him. They were not a good football team when he was playing. What do they look like if Gardner Minshew or Chris Oladokun are your starting quarterback? Now, I mean, if you know you're not going to have Mahomes, you probably do a little bit more quarterback. So I think it's a little bit, but I think you get the overall point of how important he is to things. Now, a couple of things in here I thought were pretty interesting. Quote, as one NFL personnel director noted, a weak supporting cast at Kansas City has camouflaged Mahomes' greatness. The Chiefs have struggled to run effectively in recent years, and the receiver trio of Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Hollywood Brown never blossomed into a consistent threat. Now, Rob, you've heard me say this, and I felt like I was one of the few people that were making this point over the last couple of years, that the Chiefs were asking him to do something that no other team in the league. I understand that we have painted quarterback play. Like when you play with 2 good teammates, it becomes a negative, but then you got to elevate bad teammates. The Chiefs have not been consistent offensively in the last couple of years. Now, this is maybe where we've been different, and we've had this conversation over the years. The decline of Mahomes, and I put decline in quotes from a numbers perspective, just seemed to coincide with them losing the greatness which was Travis Kelce and no longer having Tyreek Hill. I would say the last time that Kelce was a true, I'm not saying just number one on the Chiefs, I mean number one in general, was that first year after Tyreek Hill was gone. He was still one of the 5 best pass catchers in the league. The further we've got removed from that, and they haven't found that guy who can take over and kind of replace him, and you just hand over the torch, is when you really started to see Mahomes, I think, just doing too much and feeling like he has to carry the entire offense. So I am going to be interested this year, especially if he's not going to be 100% early on. They got to do some stuff to make the game simpler for Mahomes, because I felt like it was too much of, hey, you got to go make magic happen. I don't know if you can expect that magic with him coming off of a serious knee injury.
I understand your point. I agree with it to an extent. I also think he was great in 2022 with one elite pass catcher, and then basically he turned, C+ parts into B+ parts. Like Juju Smith-Schuster was basically hobbling around out there before he got the big contract in New England, and they had him near 1,000 yards. I know everyone thinks MVS is a punching bag and a joke, but he had a 600-yard season in Kansas City. Mahomes was the rising tide that lifts all boats in 2022. Now, you're right. It's coincided with the decline of Kelsey. It's coincided with a change in offensive coordinator to Matt Nagy. There have been a lot of things that happened, but Patrick Mahomes the last couple of years has not been that rising tide. I'm curious if he gets back to that, or if they have to tweak the philosophy a little bit and maybe treat him more like, I don't want to put a name, like he's not Superman anymore because he hasn't been that rising tide type of player in a while. Like we used to talk about he just makes everyone great. Man, they've had weapons that he has not made great recently.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and obviously, like, you need Mahomes to be special. I just think you need... The Chiefs were at their best offensively when you really trusted the complement of characters around them. Whether it was Kareem Hunt early on in his career, Damian Williams for those couple of years, Pacheco, you had one of the best deep threats in the league in Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Like, yeah, you had the ultimate conductor. You had Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was passing the ball to Kareem. He was passing the ball to James Worthy. Like, you were passing the ball to other really good players. I think the Chiefs kind of got away from that a little bit. Now, you could make the argument about their wide receiver room, like they didn't go out and they made an investment, but the Chiefs have pretty clearly put their flag in the ground of, we're fine at wide receiver. They were not the problem. The Chiefs have told you who they think the problem were. Connor Embry, missing in action. They think that Matt Nagy was the problem. They don't think Rashee Rice was the problem last year. They don't think that Xavier Worthy or... they don't think that those guys were the issue last year. They think that the sidelines were the issue and not the players that they had on the field. We are going to get our answer this season when it comes to wide receiver on whether or not they were right or wrong.
This is the $1 billion bet the Chiefs are making. It was not the actual players. It was the things around the players. It was not the wide receiver's fault talent-wise. It was the bad coaching. It wasn't, the wide receiver's fault or an aging tight end. It was the scheme from Matt Nagy, and they are betting heavily that a run game also changes that dramatically. Me and you just disagree on that. I do think it will improve the offense, don't get me wrong, but they're betting that a new running back room, a new voice in the wide receiver room, and Eric Bieniemy, and this offense is back to humming. It is a massive bet considering to this point Xavier Worthy is bust adjacent. Tyquan Thornton is kind of a nothing in the league. He had one okay season last year, and Rashee Rice is talented, but he has a plethora of off-the-field issues that could at any point pop up during the season because that's just what happens with Rashee Rice. It's a major bet the Chiefs are making on their offense.
Yeah, I'm looking at this list to move on from the Patrick Mahomes portion of it. So they have Justin Herbert as the 7th best quarterback in the league, and they have Baker Mayfield as the 15th best quarterback in the league. This isn't to get back on Justin Herbert. I don't think there's then a really big gap. Like, I bring that up because the text line, I think we were talking about Jalen Hurts, and the text line says he's a system quarterback. I'm sitting here looking at this then. How many guys in the league do we then not feel are system quarterbacks then, if that's the case? Like, if you think that about Jalen Hurts, fine, whatever. You can think whatever you want. Who would we then not consider? Because if you were telling me, according to this list, that they think Dak Prescott's the 6th best quarterback in the league, there is not a big gap between the 16th best quarterback and the 15th best quarterback. Dak Prescott is not that much better than Baker Mayfield. Dak Prescott is not that much better than Jared Goff, in my opinion. I don't think that there is a noticeable difference between those guys. I don't know if there's that big of a difference between him and Jordan Love. And Jordan Love is 13th on this list. I think once you get outside the top 5, I think it becomes a matter of preference then at that point. I think we are all very much on board with who the top 5 quarterbacks are. We might disagree on the order, but Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. I feel like those are the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. I think they have separated themselves. Once you get past that list, and now 6 is Dak, 7 is Herbert, 8 is Drake May. Once you get outside the top 5, it is really a dealer's choice. If you told me you thought Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff was 6, I don't know if I would fight you too hard. If you told me that you thought Caleb Williams was that high, if you thought Darnold deserves a little bit more credit for what he's done the last couple of years, I feel like there's 5 great quarterbacks in the league, and then it's you pick after that.
I think it's you pick after that all the way to like 20. Because I think there are definitely certain coaches where, like you said, Stroud was 20. I think in the right system, Stroud could be good. I mean, it's just me holding on to my draft analysis of him, but whatever. I understand why the texter said he's a system quarterback. I get it. But, man, I really hate the term system quarterback. It like diminishes the fact that coaching really matters in the NFL and getting the most out of that talent. Like, Matt Stafford was a good quarterback in Detroit, and then he went to the Rams, and he has hit a new level. We don't call him a system quarterback because Sean McVay's system has unlocked him. I don't know why we ding players for, quote, being a system quarterback when, yeah, the coaching matters. Jared Goff is good in Detroit because the coaching is good in Detroit. The system matters. Like, I hate that term, but you're right. I'll say 6 to 7 through 20 feel interchangeable. It's a matter of what fits your system. Because I don't think what the Eagles do and Texans do are similar, but I think if you were to fit an offense to a player, it would work well.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. Someone just texted in, C-Dot, how can you say that it wasn't the wide receiver faults? They couldn't stay on the field. They were getting criminals or they were getting hurt and they couldn't even catch the damn ball. I'm not telling you. That part's not my opinion. I'm telling you how the Chiefs feel based on how they've moved and their actions. You can't feel like the Chiefs think it was their wide receivers last year. They didn't add any new wide receivers. They clearly think they had a problem at running back. They've thrown nothing but resources at running back. They clearly think they had an issue at D-tackle, for example. They spent a lot of resources on defensive tackle. The Chiefs in their moves and actions are telling you they think they're fine at wide receiver. We will find out on whether or not they are right or wrong, but just based on all of their moves last year, their number 1 wide receiver was Rashee Rice. He's back. Their number 2 wide receiver, Xavier Worthy, back. They brought back Tyquan Thornton. They didn't spend any money in free agency on wide receiver. They didn't spend a significant draft pick on a wide receiver. So if you feel that way about the wide receivers, again, I'm not telling you are right or wrong, but you cannot see how the Chiefs moved in getting rid of their offensive coordinator and getting rid of their wide receiver coach and not adding a single new fresh body to that wide receiver room. Like they don't think that they're fine at wide receiver and that they blame the coaches more than they blame the players.
We're going to find out in real time how much position coach matters in the NFL. Because let's be honest, maybe in Cleveland or in Baltimore or in Green Bay, and they're doing July radio, and they're talking about the position group and the position coaches in those respective towns and those rooms. I don't know. I don't do radio in those towns. But it feels like we know the Chiefs wide receiver coach better than most NFL teams know their wide receiver coach because it's new, shiny, and different. We're going to find out if it was a talent issue or a coaching issue because Rashee Rice has shown when he's on the field, he can be talented. Can you maximize that talent? Xavier Worthy was at one point a hot commodity, and there was a thought he could ascend. I mean, he was a first-round draft pick. Can he get back to being that guy? Tyquan Thornton was a second-round pick. At one point, the NFL felt highly about Tyquan Thornton. If they can get back to being that team, we're going to all credit one person. It's going to be Chad O'Shea. But if it's more of the same, then the blame falls right at the feet of Brett Veach. You did nothing. You chose Chad O'Shea over talent, and we're going to see how much Chad O'Shea matters. And I know people get fired up, and people are going to go to St. Joe and get fired up because he's going to scream and yell at people. But we're going to see the actual tangible production change, and it's going to fall on the feet of one person.
Someone just texted in, see that off topic, but do you think we get anything from Felix Anudike-Uzomah this year? Unlikely. That's the best way I can put it. Unlikely.
Define something. They need him to be better than 0 because he's in their edge rotation because they didn't do anything there either. That's another position they kind of just let sit.
You're counting on him to do something?
No, I'm not saying I'm counting on him to do something. I'm saying
I get what you are saying, but
the Chiefs could really use him doing something because what we're talking about a wide receiver kind of applies to defensive end too. Like
he honestly might be their second best defensive end. It's possible.
we don't know about R. Mason Thomas. We just don't.
I mean, I like Ashton Gillotte too, but like, I wouldn't be stunned if Felix is a better player than him. His third year in the league. What, fourth year in the league, right?
Third playing, but fourth year.
Yeah, third playing, you're right. Third, fourth, yeah. He really might be their second best. I don't know why that just hit me now in this conversation. Is there a chance that Felix is their second best defensive end? Like if Karlaftis is one and the conversation is between Felix, Ashton Gillotte, and R. Mason Thomas, it is absolutely possible that Felix is their second best. I think most people would say Ashton Gillotte. I get it. I could certainly understand it. I could see Felix being better than him this season, which that is not a good feel. If you're going into the season and you need production from Felix Onyeudike-Uzomah, you playing poorly in the offseason. There's no other way to put it. You playing very poorly.
I mean, it's like I said, everything you said about wide receiver outside of a position coach change is super applicable to edge rusher. Now, maybe R. Mason Thomas is that guy. Everyone compared him to Nick Bonito coming out. That's a huge comparison, but it's also worth noting that he is not really the body type or the type of rusher they usually target. They don't look for the lean speed guy. So he could be a star. He could be something they found a dime in the rough. It could be, doesn't fit the system. But on July 13th, it's possible their second best edge rusher is Felix Onyeudike-Uzomah, which is problematic.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand sacks are like bad barometers. I don't know. I feel like Ashton Gillotte played a little better than the numbers.
His stats are not good. They're not bad. They're just they're underwhelming for what you thought he was doing.
For sure. Like I would have if before I looked this up, I would have guessed that he got a sack in their last 3 games. I felt like he was on the field. I felt like he was very impactful. But the numbers would suggest he was not any of those things last year for the Kansas City Chiefs.
His stats are more FAU than they are guy you thought you saw.
He didn't have a full sack last year. He had 3 half sacks in games. He almost got to the quarterback. You just go over there. Somebody else did the work. You just touch him. Oh, you're going to have sack.
Jump on the pile.
Yeah, he's got to jump on the pile there. I didn't wow. Felix might be their second best defensive lineman. It could be real scary hours for the defensive line. All right, coming up on the other side, we're going to be joined by Keith Costigan. He covers soccer for SiriusXM. We'll talk about the football portion of the World Cup in Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Here's a World Soccer Championship Team Spotlight, brought to you by the first ever Infiniti QX65 and by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's.
Germany is in rebuild mode, but never count them out. A tenacious central midfielder drives the engine room while young forwards bring speed and creativity. Their tactical discipline and tournament pedigree remain formidable.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The world's best soccer teams know success starts with a strong game plan. AAA believes your insurance should work the same way. Visit AAA.com and you could save up to 21% by switching to AAA auto insurance. You can save even more if you bundle 2 or more policies, like auto and home, to unlock additional multi-policy savings while keeping all your coverage on one team. Head to AAA.com to simplify your insurance, save money, and protect what matters most. One game plan, one team. AAA Insurance.
This July is America's 250th birthday, so declare your independence from low testosterone at Low T Center. Start with a free T-test, stay on treatment for 90 days, and receive $250 back. It's the Low T Center 250 for 250 offer. FixMyLowT.com and book your free T-test. That's FixMyLowT.com.
If you miss being able to finish a road trip playlist on a road trip, we can help. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at TellyTire.com.
Only 4 teams remain in the FIFA World Cup, and there's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. There are only 4 teams remaining, as we had mentioned. France is currently trading at a little over 40%, meaning a $100 trade could net you $239 in profit. I've been saying since the beginning of the tournament that I liked them, so you can imagine I still do, at least at that probability. See what everybody's trading at over on Kalshi, because on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and the probability changes. You can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regular.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Sun, sand, and stress-free travel start with Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking. Keep your car cool with all covered parking and enjoy fast shuttles right to the terminal. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
Bet365 presents Odyssey Sports Midsummer Baseball Showcase Special from Philadelphia, Monday, July 13th, starting at 9 o'clock. Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got the 2-car crash up at 435 northbound. It is past Parvin. Right lane is blocked. Scoot to the left through here. Raytown cleanup continues with this wreck. 435 northbound past 63rd. That's got the right lane blocked. Overland Park still dealing with that stall off to the right shoulder. So scoot to the left through here. 35 northbound at 87th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I made some friends along the way talking about this World Cup, and one of them is Keith Costigan. He is with SiriusXM FC. It's their soccer channel, breaking down the World Cup. Keith, man, happy to talk to you again, man. Happy to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about it because, you know, we're here based in Kansas City. You're looking at it more from a national perspective. I'm curious to get the perspective of someone not in Kansas City, how they felt Kansas City did for the World Cup.
I would argue that it's been one of the biggest and most pleasing aspects of this World Cup because I think a lot of people would equate Kansas to, Middle America, like a more regular American city, and to have so many foreign visitors come in and interact and be embraced by Kansas as a city, and you look at the fan fest and the games that went on, it really couldn't have gone any better. I think it's been an incredible advertisement, not just for soccer here in America, but for America in general. I think a lot of foreign fans would have had a preconceived notion of Kansas. I doubt it's the same notion they left with after being there. So it really has been incredible. 300,000 visitors inside the city over the last 5 weeks, and they're all going home with great memories.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it maybe originally when it first got announced that, KC was only going to get, this was going to be the one shot they ever got to get the World Cup. If they're talking about expanding it in the ways that they are, the Kansas City should absolutely be up for the next time that it comes to America, which sounds like it could be maybe sooner rather than later. And looking at the women's side for the Women's World Cup, Kansas City absolutely has to be a favorite for that with the current and how they just supported this World Cup.
Yeah, I think you have to learn from every kind of situation that you're in. So after these tournaments, there's like a regroup, look back at what went well, what didn't go well. Kansas has to be right at the top of the list of cities that delivered on every aspect, not just in terms of the match experience and the fan experience, the locals getting involved and backing. I mean, just think back to that Argentina game, the first game with Lionel Messi. It's one of the most incredible World Cup memories I've ever seen in terms of how Kansas got behind him in that game for Argentina. So I think, when they're looking back at this and they're doing their post look at the way the World Cup was run, they would have Kansas as saying, well, next time we look at this at a quarterfinal, a semifinal. It just makes complete sense because the stadium was excellent, the fans were excellent. And, again, I go back to teams. 4 teams chose to make their base in and around Kansas as well. So it's obvious that teams coming in viewed Kansas as a place that was, perfect for the environment, perfect for the conditions to get you ready for the World Cup. And, it's a win-win. Kansas has won and FIFA have won because the atmosphere has been incredible.
Yeah, you mentioned that Messi game. I made the point earlier, that was like watching Michael Phelps at the Olympics. That was like watching Tiger Woods at his prime or Barry Bonds or Shohei. For that guy in that moment in the first World Cup game to get a hat trick, just knowing who he is, and this could quite possibly be his final World Cup. I mean, that's an all-time sports moment, all-time soccer moment.
Yeah, it is one of those moments where I'll remember sitting back and saying, we have a sweepstakes at Sirius XMFC of who's going to finish as the Golden Boot winner at this World Cup. And I think one person out of 32 had Leo Messi. And we cover him every week. I work for MLS as well. I know how good he is, but nobody saw it coming. And then you just sat down, the atmosphere inside the stadium, how he delivered was just one of those wow moments of, this really is truly the greatest that we've ever seen play this game. So that definitely adds to it. You're Kansas, you're hyped up for the World Cup, you're ready to go. And then in the first game, the greatest of all time decides to drop a hat trick and showcase why he's still the greatest. We're not just talking about 4 years ago. That kind of set the tone for, the other 5 games as well and the other teams that were in the city. It's been electric from that moment. And yeah, I do think that will be one of the biggest memories that we take away from this World Cup.
We got 2 games coming up here in the next couple of days. We're down to the final 4 teams. Let's start with the Spain and France game. That feels like that could be the match of the tournament. Who do you like in that one tomorrow?
So, I mean, it's so difficult to bet against France because they are so good and they have Mbappe. Olise's played really well. Dembele's hit form, which he doesn't always do for France. But I've said all along, I think Spain are the kryptonite to the way France play. If you're going to beat France, you have to be able to keep the ball. You have to press well. You have to defend with numbers in and around the ball. Spain have done all of that in this World Cup. They've only conceded 1 goal so far. They're really good going forward. Lamine Yamal is the heir apparent to Leo Messi, and he's just 18 years of age. So I have Spain going through. I think it's going to be an incredible game. But Spain have had the edge against France over recent meetings. I mean, if I'm speaking freely, I wish this was the final because I do think this is the 2 best teams, but it's going to make for a great semifinal, great back and forth. But ultimately, I think France just falls short, and it's Spain that are going to win tomorrow.
Who do you have them playing in the final?
Oh, man, I'm Irish, so it's very difficult for me to go to England and say England are going to go through because the heart certainly doesn't want that. But I do feel like there's something different about this English team. I think Argentina have kind of sputtered along over the last few rounds. Messi hasn't been at his best. There's been less break in between the games. I don't know whether that's played a part in Messi having less of an influence in the games. If I had to put my money on it, I would probably say England are going to go through. If I was speaking with my heart, I would say Argentina, just based on, the storyline of Messi. But ultimately, I think it's going to be England that will move on and face Spain in the final.
Keith, you're my guy, so I got to tell you this. There is a Kansas City, Missouri, and a Kansas City, Kansas. I don't know what the equivalent over there is in Ireland, but we take that very seriously here. So, like, half of the people hate you for calling it Kansas.
I apologize. But yes, I did know that. I've been there several times. I didn't even realize. Did I say that right now?
No, Keith, it doesn't bother me. I understand why you would think that, but I'm just telling you around these parts, we take that very, very seriously. But you're my guy.
Okay, good. So you got my back in the city.
Of course, I absolutely got your back. You're my guy. That is Keith.
Then I'm good. Then I'm not even worried.
For sure. That's my guy, Keith Costigan, joining us on the show today. He is with Sirius XM FC, joining us on the show. Keith, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. That's Keith Costigan joining us on the show. I mean, the guy's from Ireland. I mean, I didn't really want to spend the time correcting him, I just let it slide. I didn't think he meant anything by it,
I mean, you said it perfectly at the end there. It's such a point of pride. I assume the same way everyone on earth has had this happen. You've gone to a concert or something in town.
Oh, yeah, I boo in that situation.
Do you boo?
Yeah,
you want to deal with the boos? Why?
Yeah, I boo.
So, like, if you're at the Midland, I'll pick, and you're seeing someone and they say, Kansas, what's up? You boo?
Absolutely, I boo. Yeah, I boo. If I'm in Sprint Center and then you say, Kansas, what up? I'm absolutely booing you. No. What are we doing here? Just like, Rob, if it was the other way around, if it was the other way around and you were at Sandstone and they said, what's up, Missouri, and you booed the guy, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I get it. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to. I mean, the guy's from Ireland. I'm about to now explain to him, like, yeah, it's my guy. I mean, I wasn't going to. There's a time and a place. I wasn't about to it didn't feel right to me to do that. You know what I mean? I just wasn't going to do it. Someone said I get it. I understand. I can understand how, if you're from Ireland, how that would confuse you. I get it. I just understand. I was going to let it slide. I'm in that mood today. I'm letting it slide. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, I always feel like the Monday of All-Star Week is like the Drive State of the Union. We'll do the Drive State of the Union, and then we'll replay the mayor of Kansas City. Who knows what side he's on? It's the Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got the two-car crash up at 435 northbound. It is past Parvin. Right lane is blocked. Scoot to the left through here. Raytown cleanup continues with this wreck. 435 northbound past 63rd. That's got the right lane blocked. Overland Park still dealing with that stall off to the right shoulder. So scoot to the left through here. 35 northbound at 87th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done, fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size, fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
There's a pill version of Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. And I'm other GLP-1s kind of like him. Hey, did I hear there's a pill version of Ozempic? Yep, you sure did. Ask your doctor about which FDA-approved uses of the Ozempic pen or pill may be right for you.
Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide tablets 9 milligrams and Ozempic semaglutide injection 2 milligrams.
There's a pill version of Ozempic.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you are a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone at 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Joint pain's awful when you're the person fighting through it, but I'm betting you aren't the only one affected by it. Maybe you love someone who struggles with joint pain, and you see it. You see what they don't say. You see what they've slowly stopped doing. It's July, and the days are long, and the light hangs around, and you want to be outside moving, playing, and living. But instead, you're sitting it out. Let's get your life back at QC Kinetics. That's what they do every single day. People who are stuck in that cycle of pain in their hips, knees, shoulders, and backs are finally stepping out of it with QC Kinetics. They offer regenerative treatments done right in the office. No surgery, no long recovery, and no putting your life on hold. Just real relief. So it's time for you to go see my friends over at QC Kinetics and get that free consultation. Call them at 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah, so green.
USA keeper was decent enough.
Didn't have much to do.
99 minutes.
Not a single goal. Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $150 in bonus bets, just for signing up.
At least someone scored.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay Steak inside Harrah's Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Rob, this one guy, he sent 7 texts about the Keith Costigan guy. I assure you it's not that serious. I mean, I'm as pro-Missouri, proud Missouri as everyone. This guy, he's very upset that the man called it Kansas. Maybe I would normally care about this. I don't care today. I'm not saying you're wrong to not care. I mean, I got off the plane at 12:45, came straight here. I had free tickets to go see Conor McGregor. I was there. Conor was not there. I'm just the Keith Costigan. It just doesn't bother me. I'm okay.
I think it's all stems from the fact, I can't speak for this man who's sent 26 texts in a row.
He's very upset about it.
I imagine he's mad because, the Chiefs moving probably makes it worse. There's like a salt in the wound element. Make Keith Costigan's clairvoyant. He's Googled Chief Stadium and saw Kansas pop up.
I will say, though, every time he said it, it's like he said it with an exclamation point.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, man, you guys are doing a great job in Kansas. Like, he kept saying it like that. Like, hold on. It was kind of in my ear. It was like, you know what? I was like, sometimes you just got to spare people, you know?
He also pregnant paused afterwards, like he was going to say city, but then just didn't.
Yeah, like he didn't know. He didn't want to commit. He wasn't 100%. He wasn't sure.
And at one point, he said, the city has done a great job in Kansas. And I'm like, oh, you're so close.
Yeah, no. I didn't have it in me. I don't know. Maybe I've gotten soft. I don't have it today to be mad at something like that. I don't have it. All right. I don't, Rob, I feel like maybe I'm the only person that notices this. I feel like the Monday of the All-Star break is always the drive State of the Union. This is how I feel about the show. This is where I'm at. We talk about it for 10 minutes and then we move on. Have you noticed that? For like the last 4 years this has happened. I noticed. I went back. Because remember, there was a time I got offered another job and I was seriously contemplating taking the other job. And then I did not take the job. And then I told you guys the story. It was at the All-Star break. And just every year, that has kind of been the thing. So I have one more year left on my contract. I made it very clear that I would like to come back at this point. I don't really have much of an interest of leaving. I feel like I've told you guys this story before, but it is a very important story in my life. And I hope that this person knows how important it was. I don't know if you like religious or whatever. I feel like this message happened at the exact perfect time in my life. I was very undecided about what I was going to do. My friends and family were very split on what they thought was best. So then, you got to do some soul searching of what's important to you. What do you want to do? What do you think is next for you? And I remember running into Frank Bowl. He might not even remember this conversation. I remember running into Frank Bowl. He was asking me about the show, asking me how everything was. And we were having a very general talk, but I didn't really tell him anything that was happening. And then he said, I'm surprised you're still here. And I was like, actually, I'm thinking about moving. I'm very undecided about what I want to do. And Frank Bowl said the best career advice I've ever gotten. He said, Kansas City is amazing. All I wanted to do was make good money and be in a good market and find a good job. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I hugged him afterwards. And I really felt like in that moment, my decision was then made. I felt very at peace. I can't explain it. It's a very weird feeling. You guys have allowed me the opportunity to live a very comfortable life, a very fulfilling life. I am very happy. I'm still very motivated to do this job. It's a dream come true. This is the only job I have ever wanted. It's the only job I've had as an adult. I've never worked anywhere else. I mean, I work for Sirius, but you know what I mean? I've never worked in another building than the one that we're in. I'm very happy with the show. I'm happy with you guys. I don't know if this is a very arrogant thing to say. I feel like our show dictates the sports conversations for the day, regardless of what the sports conversation is. And that's very important to me. I imagine that's very important to Rob. At this point in my life, at this point in my career, I don't really have the desire to do, I don't have a desire to do the necessary move that you have to do to then take that next step everybody thinks. Nick doesn't get the Fox Sports job if he doesn't go to Houston. Danny doesn't get where he is if you don't do the Chicago move. I don't really have much of an interest in moving to San Francisco for 3 years in hopes of chasing some dream. If I can't get to my dream from Kansas City, then maybe that's not a dream that I should have. I guess is how I feel now at this point. So I feel very happy. I mean, maybe it's not a very good negotiating ploy going into it, telling them that I'm not considering moving. I recently got approached by an agent. I don't want to tell you who they represented, but it was somebody that you would know and be like, oh, wow. And no, we had a conversation, and I've continued to express that moving is not in the future for me. It's not something that I think about. It's not part of my plan. And Rob, I still don't have an agent. I'm still agentless in this. But no, I can't see myself doing another local radio show. I mean, I've expressed to the people at Sirius that I'm very interested if one of the day parts opens up. I would take that job. And they've offered me a job at nights on Sirius, but I don't think that job's better than the one that I have. The goal in my life is not to talk to sports to as many people as possible. I'm not saying that's a bad goal to have, if that is your goal. But my goal in life is not to get as high as I can to share my thoughts on Justin Herbert with as many people as possible. That just doesn't give me the fulfillment in life. So no, like I said, I just wrote down bullet points for this. A lot of the show's more planned than this. This is more off the cuff, but I'm very happy. I am very excited about the new baseball stadium and the football stadium. So I will try to align my contract that at least allows me the opportunity to be here for those two things. Or if they fire me, I would just walk away with a great deal of money. But I plan on being here. I do everything in my power to make sure that Rob is here. And as long as I am here, Rob is here. Now, if Sirius calls, then Rob and I both will be leaving. Like, Rob, that's a non-negotiable. If you want me to leave, then Rob is also coming with me, and we're a package deal in that case. He's my Rich Paul. That's maybe the best way of putting it. But
and that's the agent that approached you, right, Rich Paul?
No, it was not Rich Paul. It was not Rich Paul. But no, that is where I am. So maybe you want me gone, and you're like, oh man. Maybe you are happy with the news that I have, but no, I feel very much at peace in my personal life. I feel very at peace at work. I feel very strong creatively. I enjoy working with Rob. I enjoy being here with you guys, and there really isn't too many other things that I want to do with my life. So that is my State of the Union. This is not something that we do all the time. Usually just around the All-Star break, I tell you. So if you were worried like, oh, what's Carrington? I don't have any plans. There's not a whole lot of jobs that tomorrow, if they hit me up, like I don't have much of an interest. If Dallas called and was like, you can do mornings, I'm fine. I'm more than happy being here with you guys. I think you guys are incredible. I think you are amazing. I think our city, there's not too many other places I want to live and work. So that is where I am in my life, in my career, and my personal journey. Let's get to the hits.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Rob, I feel bad that I've signed you up for another job. I feel bad that I've signed you up. But yeah, no, maybe I've just never told you that before. But yeah, it's like, oh, well, you're taking our show. You're not just taking me in that scenario. Like, you are also coming to whatever the next thing is.
I mean, we've talked about that off air, like the two paths that could go. I could be your boss one day. Who knows? That's another path.
I mean, that's probably the most likely scenario. Yeah.
I mean, that's the fork in the road I have.
Yeah, no, that's the most likely scenario. I told myself a long time ago that when I feel like I don't have the same passion that I did in the beginning, that it's time for me to do something else. I still very much have it, and honestly, I'm gonna keep riding this Patrick Mahomes. Maybe I should phrase that a little bit differently.
The fact you paused is wild.
Maybe I'm gonna phrase it. I can't believe you stopped talking there. Because the thing, I was like gonna say a whole sentence. I don't want to say it like that.
The pause was worse.
Covering Patrick Mahomes and interviewing Patrick Mahomes has been very good for my career and my professional life. I want to continue to do that. That's maybe the way I want to say it. That's the way I want to say it.
There's no easy way to pivot. By the way, the hits are brought to you by Jungle Law.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that I'm going to keep riding this Patrick Mahomes thing for as long as possible. And then I was like, I don't want to say it that way. I don't want to say it that way.
The fact that you paused is worse. There's a big...
I'm saying I could hear my son. I was like, I don't want to... That's awful. That's a really bad thing to say.
I'm looking the audio wave. It's you talking. Stop. The stop just as bad.
I'm just telling you. That's what happened.
By the way, before we get to our replay of the mayor of Kansas City that's taking the World Cup, I want you to know the hits are brought to you by Jungle Law. Call the lawman at Jungle Law 816-816-9111. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, it's time to call the lawman. And be sure to watch the lawman get roasted for a good cause Saturday, August 1st at the historic Uptown Theater. And in 2 weeks, he will be in studio with The Drive for the 4 o'clock hour.
I can't wait. That's really why I do it. That's why I get up every day. For Jungle Law in studio.
That's the contract negotiation. Keep bringing Jungle Law in studio.
For sure. He's coming with us too. He's coming with us too. That's also a non-negotiable. It's me, you, Jungle Law. That's how we're gonna do it. All right, let's get serious. You guys, I've told you enough about my life and career. I hope that I answered all of your questions about where I am. And I hope that you're happy with what I had to say. Maybe you're not happy. I can't control that. Let me play for you guys the mayor of Kansas City. We had him on the show. I know you guys are big fans of his. I know he is one of your favorites. And I'm giving Kansas City an A+ for the World Cup. Shockingly enough, the mayor of Kansas City agrees.
I think that what you saw was Kansas City really come together in a number of different ways. And everybody talks about the region and all the other steps, and that's great. That being said, I think that when you compare us to other World Cup cities, the amount of takeover that this had in particularly entertainment districts in and around Kansas City, if you went to one of those banderazos, that was where Argentina and Colombia and Ecuador had events at Mill Creek Park on the plaza. Obviously, the Dutch parade. I mean, there were so many steps along the way that said, not only are we doing this fine, are we surviving it, we are excelling as a city and a community. And I'll add this, and I'll pick this fight. You compare us to some other American markets that get major events all the time, and I've been to a lot of them, and you have too. When you have the culture of Kansas City, the activity, compare us against Indianapolis, compare us against some of the others. I don't think there is a more dynamic host of a global or national event, and we got to prove that in the last few weeks.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas. We are celebrating the World Cup as it is coming to a close here in Kansas City. Still another week in the tournament, but the Kansas City portion of it is done. Mayor, that's one of the parts that I didn't like and I didn't think was fair. Everybody supports small business. Everybody wants to see everybody win. Everybody wants to support local. But I felt like the news was going out of its way to go to Olathe to talk to the small business owner about how the World Cup isn't helping. Well, you're 30 minutes away from where all the World Cup stuff is happening. Of course, things aren't going so hot for you related to the World Cup. I just thought some of the conversation around it was a little bit unfair as kind of looking for that lens of finding the thing that were wrong instead of highlighting the 50 things that went right.
You know, I was just in a back and forth on a different radio show today where somebody was asking me, but do you all regret hyping it too much? I'm like, no, particularly they shouldn't visit KC or the Sports Commission. Their job is hype. You want to promote your city. We do not want to have a city that was saying, "Oh, World Cup's coming. What y'all think?" Like, well, you know, we're in the middle, and the president tweeted some yesterday, and I just really don't know. So I guess we're going to try our best. No, we hyped the hell out of it, and we should have. And you know why? Because in my inbox 2 seconds ago, I got a message from KCI Airport that said it was the busiest travel day in the history of Kansas City International Airport on Sunday. Busiest day in the history of KCI. Right, and they've had several of those already. The people were here. If you look at the sheer numbers, 400,000 plus inside Arrowhead Stadium for a summer that usually has, 3 concerts, some Kenny Chesney, and like a monster truck thing, right? Like, this was something that was unique, special, brought people from outside the market. And on the business stories, and look, I'm going to take my one moment to vent, even though I understand, media's going to do what media's going to do. The thing that was the most interesting to me was the whole World Cup is a failure for local businesses. Those stories were all coming out like on the day of the first match or like right after the first one. And I'm like, you have a 6-game tournament. And everybody was saying, oh, my God, the traffic was the worst I've ever experienced and the businesses or whatever, and this is just terrible. And we always knew it was going to be terrible and everybody's hurting. And I think, some of us did try to say, now hold on a minute. Look at actually what this is doing. And I think as you see, and I've talked to a lot of businesses, I tell people I'm one of the few people in Kansas City who eats out twice a day, almost every day, talks to people, listens. It was better for some than others, but I think it is all good. And Lord knows this World Cup, and I'm going to thank FIFA for it. They brought the customers here. Now, it takes us to make sure they're going all the places. But when I have KCI breaking records again and again, when I got all these people coming in, spending a whole lot of money, I know that we had the opportunity, and I think a lot of Kansas City cashed in on it.
Now, we were just laughing and joking about how you get blamed for things. You can take credit for some things. You've been really pushing the streetcar. You've really been pushing streetcar expansion. I feel like all of your ideas and all of your hard work, it worked. Having the streetcar expanded and it being a model to get people around for the World Cup was absolutely the right play.
Let me just be straight. And this is for all the Royal Stadium doubters who will say, how will we ever get people in and out? Ladies and gentlemen, for 18 straight days, we just had a fan fest across from the site of Royal Stadium, where, by the way, we had on one day 50,000 people. On other days, we had in the high tens of thousands, mid-20s of thousands, 30,000 people and beyond. We basically had a Royals crowd, and on some days exceeding a Royals crowd or Royals playoff-type crowd that was there each and every day. Streetcar is a huge story of it. And I was riding the streetcar yesterday, just by my lonesome. No security, no anything like that. The train was still full of people from Argentina. The train had a whole bunch of people who were going to work every walk of life. It is actually how Kansas City can better connect all of these districts that are close, downtown, Riverfront, Westport Plaza, Midtown, Brookside, but have always been a little too distant. What we have been able to do in the last, I'll argue, 5 years, and yes, I've been mayor for all of it, to all of my skeptics out there, but what we have been able to do is connect Kansas City in a way that makes us more dynamic, more sellable, I think more attractive to any convention organizer, sporting event organizer than we have ever been before. And you tell me the mid-sized market city that has more dynamism in that type of connection in short order than us. I've been to all of them. I haven't seen it sitting in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indy, St. Louis, or any of these others, and I think that's going to be a game changer for us as we look for major events ahead.
I'm guessing this is a question that you probably get asked the most right now. What's the plan for the Heart? Where is the Heart going to go?
So the Heart, Heart in its current iteration is going to be refashioned. It was made temporarily. It's plywood, all of that. We've already been getting quotes on what the Heart really looks like long term. My preference is the National World War I Museum and Memorial Lawn. I think that sits well. It's just kind of like the shuttlecocks, right, that are at Nelson Atkins, where you have this new modern art piece in front of that historic structure. I think, frankly, the Heart respects our World War I museum in terms of centering it, getting people down there. We had people getting married under it. We had people doing like all of these wonderful pictures and selfies and kisses and everything under the sun. It became really the focus in some ways, the sign of what this World Cup was all about. It is sticking around, and I shared this with some TV reporters today. Every big city project needs a 1% for the arts. You got to spend 1% of the project on an art installation. I think the baseball stadium being so close to where the Heart would be means that fits within the 1%, means we've got our funding already, and you get a new stadium, you get to keep the Heart forever.
Mayor Lucas, give me your story of the day of the Orange March. I mean, you got to actually be on the bus there. You were having a time, it looked like.
Man. Look, I'm from here. Your listeners know I'm from here for better or worse, so y'all got to blame yourselves for how I came out. But I think what I would say is, I'm 41 years old. I'll just give y'all my age straight up. My Kansas City sports moments, my real memories, kind of begin with George Brett retiring, the Royals going on strike, Lynn Elliott missing field goals, Chiefs playoffs, Schottenheimer, Gunther Cunningham, some Dick Vermeil hopes. Then we finally get to the World Series for the Royals, so that win, Chiefs come back. It's been on the come up the last 15 years. Don't get me wrong. That was one of my favorite days in my Kansas City, not just sports history, but in my Kansas City history. I showed up, you're the mayor, so you're shaking hands, taking pictures, all of that sort of stuff. I didn't know what to expect. The Dutch came amped for a 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in Kansas City. The crowd came amped, and let's just be real. The last big global story we were in related to the parade shooting, right? That was the last time I got called by the BBC and Sky Sports and all that sort of stuff. And these years on, in many ways, in the same footprint, to see 36,000 people marching down the street peacefully, jumping, dancing, kids, families, foreigners, residents, it was beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. It shows me what Kansas City can pull off, and it showed me some of the beauty of the World Cup.
I'll get you out of here with these last two questions. Did you have that Arrowhead nostalgia moment where there's just not too many legendary all-time you had to be there nights? I mean, we all love the Chiefs, but Chiefs-Jets at 12 o'clock, that's not giving you that you had to be there kind of moment. It's certainly going to have some more. We still got a couple more years left of it. But Lionel Messi having a hat trick or Lionel Messi going to the round of 8, that's one of those kind of moments of you had to be there at Arrowhead. I think a lot of people had that feeling after the first one.
I am not here to start too much controversy, but I may say it by this line because I've been thinking about it since I was at that match on Saturday night as well, which is that Arrowhead Stadium in many ways is the unique stadium that has been greater than most of the performances there. In the Mahomes era, we've been blessed by some, but think about it, right? The Chiefs won the first Super Bowl they won. They were attendees of Municipal Stadium back then, and then they just had decades of substandard performance through the 1980s and the 1970s, and then mediocrity into the 90s, some success starting in the 2000s, and then we finally started getting these epic AFC championships and others. So you almost say immediately, if you were being actually objective and we're coming up with a list of the top 10 games in Arrowhead Stadium history, it is hard to argue that on that list there aren't at least two matches from this World Cup that we just saw in the last several weeks.
That was our conversation with the mayor of Kansas City. If you missed any part of it, be sure to check out the podcast page. I got distracted during the replay of that. I saw that. Have you seen this, Rob? That Phil Simms, or Chris Simms, excuse me, not Phil. That's his dad. Chris Simms, the son, he made a list of. So this is quarterbacks in their prime. So not just their career, the best version of them. Chris Simms had Tom Brady at 9 on the list. He had Tom Brady behind Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers on the list. So I just...
This would have been like 07, 50-plus touchdown passes, Tom. Worse than Lamar.
The ninth best quarterback of all time, according to Chris Simms. When we get to that stuff, it's time to just start taking vacation, man. Like, I'm serious. If that's the kind of stuff that we got to do here just to get by for the next couple of weeks until training camp, I got to let somebody else have a seat for a little bit. Like, I've run out of ideas at that point. I'd rather just find random news stories than if that's what we're going to do. Tom Brady's 9? Behind Lamar Jackson? He has Josh Allen at 6th on this list. 6th. I'm flummoxed. I don't even have a better word. I'm flummoxed. We all think Josh Allen is good. We'll get to the quarterback list here coming up in a bit, like the ESPN one, the current one. We all think Josh Allen is good. We normally make athletes, you got to go earn it. And for somebody who, I don't think he should have won MVP that year. He's never made a Super Bowl. He's 30 now. We've never made Josh go earn it in a way that just it's confusing to me. All right, coming up on the other side, ESPN, they put out their list. They asked over 70 NFL people who the best quarterback is in the league. Patrick Mahomes was not number one. It was Josh Allen. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive.
My man Carrington Harrison.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off, and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. Even if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you keep your bet alive, and it keeps you in the action for even longer. So now you're in it until the final whistle. The Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. This summer is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be even better with our friends over at FanDuel. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the same page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or injury, your bet automatically will transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. Go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer for the World Soccer Championship with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for 35 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, But there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
Yeah.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
Summer savings start now at Hy-Vee's 3-day summer sale. Save big this Friday through Sunday on summer favorites with hot deals throughout the store. Stock up and save big on fresh meat, produce, and other healthy finds. Want an easier way to shop? Order on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery, and we'll do the shopping for you. Save time, save money. Shop your way during the Hy-Vee 3-day summer sale this weekend only.
The Hy-Vee Market Grill is the best dining value in town. We love it for breakfast on the weekends, and now Thursday is steak day. You're going to get that perfectly grilled and seasoned steak with a baked potato and a side of sweet corn for just $12. You can't beat that deal anywhere in town. That's why the Hy-Vee Market Grill is a must on Thursdays for steak day. Dine in, carry out, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You're going to love the Hy-Vee Market Grill as much as I do. Don't forget, Thursday, $12 steaks, only at the Hy-Vee Market Grill.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we have big delays if you're planning on getting on 35. Yikes. Okay, coming out of downtown, 635 southbound at 35. The right lane is blocked, and you've got backups. This is at the split, so backups in both directions. 35 southbound at 75th, that's a crash. And then northbound 35 at 87th, that's a stall. And so from Overland Park all the way down to downtown, both directions very heavy. I see nothing but red. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Welcome back to the show. So there is a list that is currently circulating, and any sports guy will tell you we love lists. I don't know what it is. It gets me so excited. I know that it doesn't mean anything, but giving me the ability to argue with strangers over ratings, it just It means that much to me. That's how much the game means to me. Let me tell you who they have as the 10 best quarterbacks in the National Football League. We'll go from 10 to 1. Number 10, Caleb Williams. Number 9, Jared Goff. Number 8, Drake May. I'm already going to press pause here. Feel like Jared Goff's a little low.
Also, can we talk about last year? I got a lot of slack on this show when I said before the Super Bowl, I think Drake May is a top 10 quarterback. Huh?
You had him at 5. You didn't have him at top 10.
I didn't have him at 5. I had him at 6.
Okay, all right.
Because I had him below the big 5.
That might be fair. I remember there was a time we did this, maybe like in January, and I feel like you had May at 5. I could be wrong. Text line, you guys, if there's one thing I know, the text line, they got the greatest memories. They remember everything. You could have said something small 8 months ago, and like, remember when you said? No, I don't remember that. I don't remember saying that. But the text line, they know. They'll pull it up too. Check the podcast and be like, oh no, you're right. You're right. I feel like Jared Goff's a little low at 9. That one jumps out to me. Drake May at number 8. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Number 6, Dak Prescott. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Matthew Stafford. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. And number 1 is Josh Allen. All right, a couple of, I guess, different thoughts. I'm not mad at Josh Allen being number 1. If it's a October football game and you tell me you'd rather have Josh Allen have Patrick Mahomes, I'm not mad at that. If it's a January football game, would you rather have Josh Allen have Patrick Mahomes? I think the answer is still no. Even though Mahomes hurt, I'd still rather have Patrick Mahomes. That would just keep him number 1 on my list. But if you are arguing the sample of the last 2 years, Josh Allen has played better than Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how you could argue that point. But the playoff stuff obviously matters. That's why he'd be number 1 on my list. So before you yell at me, text line, if I was asked to participate in this, I would have voted Mahomes number 1. I would have voted Josh Allen number 2. Matthew Stafford at 3, can't be mad at that. Certainly last year he was phenomenal. Burrow at 4. Now, I think Burrow's a dog. Don't get me wrong. I think Burrow's very, very good. Burrow's really only been healthy one time in the last 3 years. He had 17 touchdown passes last year, had 15 back in 2023. I'm not saying that Burrow still isn't good, not saying where he should be ranked, but at some point, doesn't he have to show that he can consistently stay healthy? You can't do nothing with your quarterback if half the time you got Jake Browning in the game. 17 touchdown passes, very low number last year, but when Burrow's on the field, there are not many in the league better than he is. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Then I feel like you start to see a noticeable break. There is a noticeable break between those top 5 and everybody else. Almost to the point of, if I told you who's the best quarterback that's not one of those 5 that I mentioned, who do you think it is? I think if you asked the 10 NFL fans, I think you get 7 different answers. Like if you started the conversation at 6, for example, and you remove those top 5, so no Allen, no Mahomes, I think you would get 7 different answers out of the 10. Do you think Dak is the best of the rest?
No.
I don't think so either. And I think Dak's very, very good.
I think Dak gets a bad rap. I think people think he's worse than he is, but I do not think he's the best of the rest.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think it's Jared Goff.
Yeah, that's how I
think if you were talking consistently, who is the best quarterback out of this group? I think it's Jared Goff.
Yes, I would also move Herbert down, but I'd still keep him in the top 10. Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott are, by the way, we're talking about no accolades. They're the Spider-Man meme. They're pointing at each other. They're the same.
Tomorrow, would you rather have Justin Herbert than have Caleb Williams?
No, I'd take Caleb. Caleb would be coming up.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know where I am with Herbert.
Would you take Herbert over Caleb?
I'd rather have Caleb Williams have him.
I agree with that.
At some point, you have to do something. And Justin Herbert, he's never done anything. Like, I think we put a lot of criteria on the Super Bowl, which I understand. That's what they're playing for, right? Like, I get it. But, like, we get mad at Josh Allen for not going to the Super Bowl. knowing only one quarterback can go to the Super Bowl. We get really mad at Lamar Jackson for not going to the Super Bowl. Again, even knowing that one quarterback can go. How are we not mad at Justin Herbert for never winning a playoff game? He's never won a playoff game. He's never got an MVP vote. He's never been an All-Pro. He's never won his division. I don't know what to do with any of that information if you're telling me that you think they have the 7th best quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't have anything to show for it. He has no memories, no nothing. If Justin Herbert announced today that he was retiring, there's not a single play that would come to mind. If anything, the thing I remember most was Justin Herbert's first start because of how random it was. Remember they had Tyrod Taylor, but Tyrod Taylor got a shot and they punctured his lung, and that's the only reason why Herbert started, and then he actually ended up being pretty good in that game, and he started the rest of the season. Can you give me a Justin Herbert moment, a throw, or anything? Since then, he just doesn't have anything.
I'm not a Justin. Maybe I'm a Justin Herbert defender, but I'm racking my brain back here. Maybe his win at Arrowhead in 2021. Maybe a regular season win is a division rival's maybe the best I can do, and that's not even that great. That's the closest to a memory.
I mean, I agree. I mean, someone on the text line says, "CDOT, what has Dak Prescott done?" I mean, Dak's been All-Pro. Yeah, I'm not saying Dak's had some great magical career. I mean, he's a good quarterback. Dak's led the NFL in a category. Justin Herbert hasn't thrown more than 30 touchdown passes these last 3 seasons. Like, we talk about the numbers like he's putting up big video game numbers. I mean, he's been all right, but that's not how it's gone for Justin Herbert these last couple of years. Did you know that Justin Herbert in the last 3 years has thrown 7 more touchdown passes than Sam Darnold? 7. I'm saying, like, the way we discuss the gap that people probably feel exists between those two, we make it sound like it's the Grand Canyon. He's thrown 7 more touchdown passes. And one of those years, Darnold didn't even start. If we're going last 2, it's not close. If we did a blind test, like it was the NCAA tournament, and I showed you Sam Darnold in one and I showed you Justin Herbert on the other one, every single person would take Sam Darnold. But yet nobody will argue that Darnold's a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. He hasn't thrown more than 30 touchdown passes in a season since 2021. The last 2 seasons, 25, 20, 23, 26. Last season, he didn't throw for 4,000 yards. He had 26 touchdown passes and 13 interceptions. He ain't even balling like that. He's just a taller Bo Nix is basically who he's been. That's who he's been, taller Bo Nix.
With higher acclaim.
Yeah.
Better draft.
He's just Sam Darnold with the better agent. That's who he's been. I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, I see it. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. He's 6'6", big, can make all the throws. Like, he looks the part, no question. You don't have anything to show for it. Nothing. No memories, no drive you led. No, it's just all hype. It's all hypothetical. It's all potential. It's all eye test. At some point, you got to pass the resume test. You got to pass the paper test. And that paper's looking blank, in my opinion, when it comes to Justin Herbert. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Your home for all things Chiefs football and Royals baseball.
I'm a professional complainer.
Is The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Chocolate Lava Cake is a mountainous eruption of flavor. Classic vanilla ice cream loaded with rich chocolate cake pieces, rivers of chocolate sundae sauce, chunks of dark chocolate, and a deep fudge swirl. Prepare yourself for an earth-shaking experience.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at select Walmart supercenters and select neighborhood markets.
We all do it. You have a night for yourself but don't like the sound of the silence, so you turn on the TV just for the ambience. It's a little trick that helps you feel like you've got company and aren't alone. And other insurers, well, they may make you feel alone. But when you switch to Geico, you've got claims reps available around the clock. So whenever you need, you'll have people around to help. And let's turn on the washing machine, just for good measure. Isn't that soothing?
It feels good to have support. It feels good to Geico.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Post Malone presents the Big Ass Stadium Tour. Returns for Part 2 with special guests Jelly Roll and Carter Faith. 9-time Diamond Certified Phenomenon, Post Malone. Live this Wednesday at Kauffman Stadium. Get tickets now at postmalone.com. The Big Ass Stadium Tour Part 2. This time, it's even bigger.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to the home of the Royals, 96.5 The Fan.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a multi-car crash on, 29 southbound. Okay, just past North Oak. 2 right lanes are blocked. Several cars involved in that one. The crash is still working down almost to Overland Park. 35 southbound at 75th. It is the right lane that's blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5, The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
I can just be honest with you. No one listens to the last segment of the show anyway. I'm kind of tired. So I went to Vegas for the weekend. Friend hit me up and said that he could get me into the Conor McGregor fight. I was thrilled. I was debating on going to New York to see Jay-Z. He was doing 3 straight shows at Yankee Stadium. But I was like, in one, it's pay to go see Jay-Z, and I've seen him 3 times in concert, or I can go see Conor for free. I took the Conor McGregor route. I should have known that was going to set me up. If you've been to Vegas, I had one of those weekends, Rob, where I had a good time. Like everything was fine, but just everything went wrong. Everything. Conor, terrible. Blackjack, 12, 13, 14. You get an 11. You double down. You get a 3. It was one of those kind of weekends, you know? Then you start trying to switch it up, you know? Hey, let me play craps for a little bit. Those are the 2 games I play. I like craps. I like playing blackjack. You then start playing craps. Point is 6. You get set up. First roll, 7. That's what it was like. It was awful. That's really what it was. It was one of those. It was one of those. It rained. It poured. I'm trying to think of the last time I've been that mad at a sporting event. At Conor McGregor. Now he's hurt, right? Like it is what it is. But I was so excited to go see him. He was back. I don't know a whole lot about the UFC, but, the energy, that guy, he entertains me. It was in the first 15 seconds you knew something was wrong. Max Holloway knew something was wrong with Conor. I knew something was wrong with him. Then he just tapped his leg and he was done? Oh, my. Just disappointing, bro. Just disappointing. Someone said, C-Dot, would you rather Cags win the Derby or see Missouri basketball win the national championship? There's no part of me that even cares about the home run derby today. I'll watch the highlights. You guys got it.
It'll be cool if Cags wins. But
if he wins, great. I'll be thrilled for him.
That's a bad question.
I understand they just wanted to answer the question, but at this point, the home run derby is a TikTok for me. That's a YouTube video of them showing me all the highlights. I'm not sitting there and watching the home run derby for 3 hours. I'm okay.
You're not loading up Netflix tonight to?
No. If Shohei was in, it'd be a little different. If Aaron Judge was in, it'd be a little different. But you know where Jack Caglione's home run performance will be? Right there on YouTube.
It'll be on Twitter.
No commercials. I can just watch him hit. They'll give me the best stuff. I'll see all of them. It's great. You're going to see the Odyssey tonight, right?
I'm going to see the Odyssey tonight. So I'm not going to watch it either. Again, I will see.
I got an 8:30 bedtime loading up for me.
No way you make it to 8:30.
Huh?
You know way you make it to 8:30. You're under 8:30.
No, I'll be awake. Because then I'll lay there and, you're just like, Because then everybody's had this happen where you don't want to you feel weird going to bed so early, You feel weird going to bed that early. I'm like, so no, I'll be awake. But I really toughed this, guys. I toughed it out for you guys. Because then you know what would happen if I took a vacation day. The text line would have made fun of me for taking a vacation day.
Which is crazy because Gold's on literal vacation.
For a week.
Dusty on literal vacation.
I have no vacation days this week. I'm here every day. I don't have another vacation day till end of the month. Now, August.
I'm going to say, let's not talk about August yet.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't count on me being here on a Friday in August. I would just go ahead and not count on that.
Chiefs preseason game number 3 is not for you.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be here. But then I hope by now you guys know, once football's here, I am here. So it does not matter. I will be here every day. As long as I'm not sick, I'm here. That's the deal that we've made between us. But August 8th, yeah, I got things to do. It's warm outside. Let me enjoy my last little bit. It's kind of like when you know you got to go in. So you're like, man, let me just stay out a little longer, man. Let me soak up the sun like Sheryl Crow, man. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys listening. We will be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with prominent Mizzou fan Carrington Harrison.
I support Kansas.